Hello, gamers, and welcome to episode 457 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for June 1st, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on, Dominic?
Not much, man. It's been some nice, man. It's been some nice weather, man. It's been some nice weather out here. This is like, this is like the spring weather that I really like to have. You might get some really warm days, but you have some cool nights or cool mornings and stuff, and yeah, it just makes the day overall feel all right. Just to be nice out.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I know the summer's coming, and it's all hell breaking loose. So I'm just counting the days because it's June.
Yeah.
It's June 1st as of right now. So I'm like, I'm counting the months. I'm counting the days and the months and the hours and the seconds. Then count it all until we can get at least to the fall. And I was like, yes, please, because God, it's gonna be hell.
It's
Anyway,
already not great standing in the sun. That's it's nice in the shade when there's a breeze and all that stuff, but in the sun, it's already summer, full blast.
Oh yeah. I guess you could say that. Luckily, I don't have to do that. That's it. So, what we got here? Let's go through sports real quick. So, Orioles, they've been doing okay. They've been winning. They won the series, so that's good. They won the last two series that they played. Ever since they lost, they got swept. Ever since they got swept by Cardinals, they've been winning. And now they're playing Tampa Bay. And they this is the first time they played Tampa Bay this year for the division, so they won the first game. Hopefully they can win the series, at least or maybe even sweep them. So that's good on them. Yeah, just been having fun watching those. Basketball, we're in the finals now, so we got the Mavericks versus the Celtics. So that's your championship. So Luka Doncic, he finally got there. Do I think this is like a fixed thing? Yes, I do. I do. I honestly do. Not saying like who should have gone. I'm just saying that I think this was good. Like if I was put like this, if I was fixing matches, this would be a good match to fix. Just the way things are going with the NBA, attendance overall, attendance slash viewership. I think it's maybe more viewership, more than attendance that I know about. Viewership is not as high as it used to be or whatever. And it's not gonna stay that high. That's why some people are really. That's why a lot of people think investing in gambling and stuff. Because hey, that would definitely cover the cost. Like any money you lose from attendance and viewership with gambling. Oh my God! Actually, you make more from the gambling. So there you go. You don't need the attendance or the viewership to be that high.
Exactly. That's why we're introducing gambling to this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We're brought to you by whatever. Sorry, I don't get them creating some, but unless they really pay us. But but anyway, so if I were to if I were to want the match I want, of course people say the Lakers, but that's the Lakers aren't good enough. They're not, and that'll be too hard to do. So. Yeah, I will make it so that Mavericks would go because Luka is the next. He's like a big thing, and let's be honest. You don't really see a whole lot of great white players like since Larry Bird, and he's very good. We had Joker last year, but Joker doesn't have the personality. He's a guy who just plays and he likes to go on his farm with his horses. He's just a simple guy. That's what he is, and I like that, but it's not something that you can really sell on. So Luka is he's more out there. He's more excitable. He could possibly he's probably is maybe I don't know. Arguably he's one of the best. He's the best player in NBA as for offensively anyway. Though, and really that's all that matters. I mean, today's NBA, that's all that matters. Defense is only the secondary. It's probably even lower in secondary if it can be. It's only really good you can play defense in the playoffs though. Like if you, that's really you really want it. And it seems like Mavericks have been doing that. I haven't. And I'll be honest, I haven't watched any games, so that's why it's just half-ass sports. And I'm just talking about it. But I just watching highlights and stuff, and listen to my brother talk about it. So, yeah, and then you got Boston, which is all the history of the Boston Celtics. I mean, they won the most championships, and I mean that the city of Boston, they all just in on it. And then you have a guy like Jason Tatum, who I said Jason. Wait, that's his name. Is it Jason Tatum? I think it is.
I believe you're confusing him with Rhetoric Tatum.
Oh, okay.
Famous boxer.
Yeah, but Tatum. Yeah, Tatum. I'm trying to remember his first name because for some reason it'll sound right, but I think that is his name. Yeah, Jason Tatum. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm right. I don't know what I'm thinking. So I mean, he's a great player. He's like even talked about to be one of the best players out there. I mean, he definitely is one of the best. I don't know if he's the best. I never really heard that, but he's a great player. And yeah, I mean, having that guy being one of the face of the Celtics, and the Celtics has a lot of players. I mean, they're just a team. But this is kind of almost like what they were back in the day when they had so many players on the team. But yeah, it's great, man. I mean, this overall, this is a cool series. This is over a cool series, and yeah, I would definitely make it so like, yeah, this would be it because the Celtics, they were the best team in the league this year overall. They had the best record. The East, man, it kind of fell apart at the end. Like, the East was looking good, really competitive before, but then teams really fell off, like the 76ers, the Heat. Even though Indiana almost seemed like they got to a point where we thought they were at the beginning of the season, they just got swept by the Celtics in the East Conference Finals. So, yeah. And I'm hoping this is a good series. Hoping it's going to be a good series that people can enjoy, especially for me because this might be the last time I ever watch NBA basketball. So, yeah, I hope it turns out pretty well. Yeah, so I just see what's going to happen until next year when we get Bronny Jr., who's going to come out of nowhere that nobody ever like. A guy who averaged 4 points in a game in college, he'll come out of nowhere and just dominate the NBA. Daniels. So it's like I have no idea. It's going to be weird. It's going to be some weird years for the NBA, man. I think after this, and I hope y'all enjoy it. So, well, what else is there? Something else, much else that I would talk about. I know golf had a tournament. I heard somebody committed suicide. In golf.
Really?
Yeah, I was one.
I thought I had seen something about a younger star passing away, but I didn't realize that was the case.
Yeah, I think the supporter he did have some problem. He did drop out of the tournament, but I think for like some type of sickness or something. And I don't know how long after that. It wasn't that long after that though. Then they said his family reported that he has passed away. I mean, he died from suicide, and I was like, darn, that's messed up. And I know some people are. I mean, like you go by like, was it the pressure of just being like a golfer or something? What was it that have caused that? I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty sad. He's a young dude too. Yeah, young dude. Like this ain't
30
guy that's been around. All right, so what else? Is there? I don't think there's any. I only got any football news. I don't really care. It's too early. It's just damn June. I mean, unless somebody like it has to be somebody out the news like doing something for me until you talk about it, which I hope nothing's happened.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the wrestling world?
Nothing too crazy. We're just kind of.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
I forgot. Bill Walton passed away. Basketball player. Yeah, he passed away. He was a great player. I only know him from announcing. Like that's my, because by the time I was watching basketball, he had already retired, and like I didn't even know he was a basketball player until like I don't know. My dad just told me, he's like, "Hey, he used to play basketball." I said, "Oh, okay." But yeah, he was a commentator. He's a very lively commentator. I used to like him. Yeah, I used to like him when I used to. I mean, he still technically commentates for like college basketball for the Pac-12, but that's West Coast. Like by the time he comes on, I'm one to sleep.
Yeah.
So I don't see those games. Yeah, because college, they actually be playing around like 10, man, or something like 11. It's like, shucks, man, I'm done. Because especially if I already watched like games earlier. Yeah, because as long as I didn't know, I thought he retired from announcing. I didn't realize he was doing college basketball games. So I was like, oh, so he was still around. And I was like, darn, that's why I haven't seen him. But yeah, I used to watch him doing the NBA games, man, back in time when Michael Jordan and them was playing. So I used to see him. Yeah, he was a bit known as like a hippie kind of guy, man, wearing tie-dye shirts and stuff. Like, he grew up in California, so he definitely was that easygoing guy. And yeah, man, it was it's pretty sad. I know his son is well, last time I seen him, he was still a coach in the NBA. I remember when his son was playing with Kobe on the Lakers. But yeah, it'll be sad. It's sad that he's gone. He died at what age did he die at? How old was he? He's in his 70s. 71. Yeah, he was 71 years old. All right. So yeah, he retired in 1988, but yeah, what was I, 3 years old?
Yeah.
I was not watching any basketball. All right, so what's going on in the wrestling world?
All right, so last weekend was both a WWE pay-per-view and an AEW pay-per-view. The King and Queen of the Ring show from Saudi Arabia happened for WWE on Saturday, and that happened like midday. And then Double or Nothing happened for AEW on Sunday night. Sounds like both of those shows were pretty good. I haven't seen the majority of either one. But yeah, it's just kind of cruise control right now. It's kind of weird for me because like it seems like WWE is basically at its best right now that it's been in several years. But because I don't really have any way of watching the weekly programming anymore, because I don't have cable and I don't, really have access anywhere else. I haven't found any good other options after the other ones were taken down. I haven't really been able to follow as closely as I have. But we're only months away now from WWE ending up on Netflix. So I'm hoping that AEW can find a similar deal when they re-up their deal with Warner Brothers to find themselves put on like Max. Because I would definitely be watching a lot more of this if I could just, turn it on. But without cable, I can't watch the shows really. So I'm relying mostly on watching the clips. And it's just, I enjoy watching the highlights. It makes it easier for me because, it's a lot less time than sitting down watching these 2-3 hour programs. But like, I definitely feel like I'm missing out on some of this stuff. Yeah, the Saudi Arabia show for WWE is slowly become more important. Like when they first were doing it, it was almost like the super show kind of thing. Like we're gonna bring back legends and people that they thought they wanted to see, and that the Prince wanted to see. Like, oh, bring Andre the Giant. It's like he's dead. All right, bring a tall man that can do nothing in the ring, I guess then. But now they're just basically another pay-per-view. And for them, King of the Ring ended up being Gunther. The final was Gunther versus Randy Orton. It sounds like
that was the final?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because well, I was actually watching some of that match through the Oculus because
Oh yeah, you were telling me
Big
about
screen.
that. How was that?
Yeah, the big screen, which is an app where you can watch movies and things of that nature, like with groups of people, and like even just randoms. Like they have rooms where people like they put a movie on and people watch it together, or television show or something. It could be 3D sometimes. Some of the movies.
Oh, cool.
Like they had Ready Player One actually playing in there.
Interesting.
And one time they actually had it wasn't 3D of course, but somebody was playing just Mortal Kombat 11, and people was just watching in there.
Oh,
I
that's
heard
kinda
kids
cool.
just hold. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, because I just saw kids keep asking like, "Is this the new one? Is this the new Mortal Kombat 12?" Another kid was like, "Nah, it's not the new one." And then they were just talking. I was like, "Oh, them nice little kids." So they were being nice. I was like, I'm glad. That's what I like.
I gotta say, I was
doing
pretty
that-
impressed by the video that you showed me of the wrestling and not hearing any racial slurs within that 10-second clip.
Yeah, not within, and I didn't hear it. Yeah, I didn't hear nobody using racial slurs, but there was a
'Cause,
guy
like-
who was acting a little.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I would say it was a guy who was acting a little silly.
Okay.
But you know what? It's also you can mute him. You can put mute on to mute even Pacific people or all of them. And plus, or if you don't have mute on, if you move, you only hear them from a vicinity. So if you're close, so you can probably hear them from a distance. Though
You just see this guy get up, move his seat.
yeah, well, the move is like you kind of just zoom to another seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was kind of moving around just to see how things were looking on that screen, and watching, because we was watching the Saudi Arabia show, and Gunther, saw Gunther, Randy Orton, I was watching some of that, and then because there was some guy, he was talking, I was a kid, and like he was saying like, he was just talking, it's wrestling, and then I heard somebody say like, would you be quiet or something, and the guy was like, it's wrestling. To say I gotta be quiet wrestling, and I was thinking to say, I wasn't gonna say nothing because I ain't talking to
Not
people.
starting fights in the virtual world.
But no, I think the kid had the right to.
Yeah,
I was like, he has a right to cheer on. Eventually other people ended up talking too, so I was like, I'm glad because the kid had the right to talk.
Yeah,
I was like,
and
wasn't saying
what's the point of this whole thing if you're not gonna be doing that? And like you said, you can mute him if you want.
You have a mute, yeah. Because I was really going to say, man, you can just mute, dude, if you have a problem. Like, the guy, he's not, I can see him saying some, like, stuff and, like, bothering people or something, but he was just talking about it. And, like, some of the people I heard talking, like, one time when I moved to the back, I heard some people talking, because a person said, oh, that woman has her woman has her face cover up. They said, yeah, because I think they can't have the woman show their face. I don't know if that's true or I missed it because I didn't see the woman with a face cover. But yeah, and then people just but it's kind of cool that people how they just interact. You can interact with people of that nature, and then if, like I said, if there's a problem that somebody's doing, so you can mute them.
Yeah,
you can mute them, so that's good. And this mode, I think they turned it off because sometimes they have it where you can take out items like popcorn, act like you're eating it, or you can even throw popcorn around at people or something if you want to. But this one, I think they had it off. So I say, oh, that's smart, especially the rest of the thing, because people probably get too rowdy or something.
Yeah. Although that'd be pretty funny seeing them throw like popcorn at the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would have been good. Like, say, boo. Yeah. But yeah, it was that was just a cool experience. I didn't watch the whole match. I just wanted to be in there for a bit just to see how it was, and because I was about to watch a movie, and I was like, I want to say, do I want to look at big screen mode? And I'm gonna see how. Big screen, whatever it's called. I said big screen mode, but the app, or do I want to use the other app, Skybox? And I was just trying to look, and then I saw that. I was like, wow, they actually got it where you can watch Peacock. People watch the wrestling. I said, that's pretty cool.
I figured it out, Dominic. I just got to get a VR headset, and then I can watch weekly wrestling again.
Yeah. Well, you do have a VR headset.
Oh, that's true. I just got to get one that I can actually get working. Because, I had so much trouble. That's what originally started kind of like the push off of, not using it anymore, even before my daughter was born, was the cameras were like being funky, and then I was like, okay, I'll get like a USB hub and I'll, have this camera over here and I'll like permanently set them up in places. And then like I just haven't been able to get it to function properly. It's like your play space is too small, and it's like I've set it up so it's the entire room. Like I can't move around the whole room, but like the area that I'm giving you theoretically is the whole room. Like what more do you want? I've used it in here before, just not in the same way. And then it just became like too much of a nuisance to try and get it working. That's why I like the idea of the Quest, but I also know the reality now that like I can't really take myself out of the environment in that way anymore, unless I'm doing it like, before anybody gets up or after everybody goes to sleep or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's all you got for wrestling?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I didn't watch the AEW show. It sounded like it was pretty good. I just can't the pay-per-views, like, especially because now they've increased the number of pay-per-views. Really, it was like they would do 4 pay-per-views and then they would do like shows on TV, but they would call them something special, right? But now they're doing like a pay-per-view every month, and like I can't spend $40 on that a month. Like that's ridiculous. That's why I hope if they get some kind of deal with Warner Brothers to stream, that they'll also put those pay-per-views up. Even if it's not like live necessarily, I'd be more likely to go back to them if I could, without having to spend an exorbitant amount.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we get to what we were watching. So you finished watching Dune 2?
Yeah, I finished watching Dune 2. Overall, I was quite satisfied with that movie. I think it's for me at least, it's a marked improvement over the first one because things actually happened. The unfortunate thing is it is very obvious that it is another part of a, at least a trilogy or however long they plan on going with this. So there's like a conclusion for this movie, but there's not a conclusion. It's a cliffhanger, basically. It's setting up for the next big step. But I think overall they do a really good job. And I'll give them credit, like now thinking back to like Dune 1, they did have like that climactic kind of fight at the end where he, what was it? Kills the leader of one of the Fremen groups and kind of...
Well, I don't think he was a leader. He was just see this challenge.
Oh, okay. But that's like how he becomes part of them, right? By taking that guy's spot. So they did attempt to have something climactic at the end of that movie, so it wasn't just kind of like this dull, malaise into the next movie, which won't be out for another 2 years or whatever. So as in a similar fashion, they did that. But I think overall, just tonally and pace wise, like this movie is just going full sell, nonstop from the first scene, basically. And I'm here for it. Like I definitely would like to see what happens in Dune 3. They're setting up some very interesting storylines, which obviously it's based on books people already know about, but I don't. I haven't really ever familiarized myself with Dune as a series. So like obviously the whole like there's like the white savior stuff and the like Jesus stand-in basically with him. It's interesting in this though because like it's so obvious, like they're putting it's on the nose, right? Like they're basically even saying in the thing like, oh yeah, you're talking about this prophecy, but I don't believe I don't believe in this prophecy. So I think it's an interesting way of handling that kind of stuff instead of just like everybody being on board for what's happening, and to have that kind of challenge, and almost like this reluctant leader in the case of our main character, whose name I can't think of.
Dune.
But yeah,
his name is Dune.
His name is Dune. Yes.
Yeah.
There is a movie, or a moment, not to spoil it, but like where he's like, It's like, oh, he said the name of the thing, and he says Dune, and it's like, oh, he did the thing.
Oh, but that was like in the first movie.
Yeah.
You remember the guy said, my Arceus, like, the bad guy came up, was like, my Dune.
Oh, so
I was like,
I didn't remember that, yeah.
I said, oh, he said it. I said, he said it.
They're just gonna have that scene for each of the movies.
Yeah,
but yeah, I definitely recommend it. Even like when we talked about the first one last week, being a little cooler on it, but the second one definitely is far more interesting. So I think you'll.
Now he should have said. Now they gotta say Dune
quite a bit.
Part 1 or Part 2. That's what they should say. It's my Dune Part 1.
Nah, they're leaving it for when they have the whole thing, and they're gonna make it one like 10-hour long movie, and they're just like, okay, it's just called Dune now. All right, so what have you been watching, Dominic?
Let's see. Okay, so I've been watching a lot because I've been just having movies on while I'm on the PC or doing something in around the house. So I checked out Equalizer 2 finally because I haven't watched it before, and it was all right. It was pretty good. It a little spoiler alert. I mean, it kind of deals with him and his ex partners or guys he must have worked with back in the day, wherever agency he worked at or whatever. But now he's like a Lyft driver. Yeah, well, he is a Lyft driver. I think that's what the actual thing is. Now, because the first one he was working at basically Home Depot or Lowe's knockoff. Yeah, and he and then of course one of his somebody who he worked with died, and now he was trying to figure out who killed her and then go after those guys. So yeah, but overall I still enjoy it. I still like Denzel in this type of role. It's really cool. I wish he had a lot more action movies when he was younger.
Yeah.
But I mean, this role of playing like a guy, older guy who's retired, but they always bring him back in. It's always he can never lead the life. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I enjoyed it. I would say I like the first one better. But this wasn't horrible. I had a good time watching it. Also, I watched Taken 2. Well, I finished Taken 1 finally, and it was all right. I mean, it was fine. It was a fine action movie for what it is and stuff. I think I enjoyed it more when it first came out, maybe. But now I don't know. I just need a little bit more to it. I mean, this is the time of when action movies were just action movies. You didn't really look for nothing too big on story or something you just want to get into the action. But it had to be something, it had to be something cohesive. I mean,
it had to have the motivation for killing all these people.
Yeah, so it did, and it did. I mean, but part 2, then I watched 2. It's just that it was just redundant. I mean, it's like, it's just people who get revenge from the first one, but it's just, it's okay. There's a lot of movies like that. It's just that it's been done to death. I don't know that it's just I need more to it. See with movies I'm trying to think the name of it. Born. See, it was a story about him trying to find out, get his memories back, and Treadstone. You still didn't get the whole deal with Treadstone or something like that.
Yeah.
And so there, even though the second one wasn't that good, but still, I understand why there was a second one. It made sense. Taken. Not that it's just that I don't know. It just seemed to just be there just to be there. It's hey, the first one did well, let's just keep going. Liam Neeson's a good action actor. People like him. He's cool in that role. And let's just make another one and just figure out and say, what's the story going to be? Or he gets taken now. And his daughter, I mean, but it's like a short. It's not like his daughter is doing all the action and to get him. I mean, it's only a short time, and then he's back to it's him as the main, the guy. It's like, if there was that's the thing. If there was something like where he gets taken and the daughter figuring out how to save him, like through most of the movie, maybe that's something. That's something different. And it's like, this is different. But that was just like a brief moment when he was trying to teach her, like, because he was on some type of phone telling her what to do and how to, like, find them and things of that nature. I mean, that part was actually pretty cool. But overall, the movie was whatever. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 again, but I watched it in 3D. Haven't watched it in 3D before. The 3D is great. Like, 3D is great in this cool. Movie. Like, it is really good. And I mean, and overall, I did enjoy the movie more than I first saw it. Not just because of the 3D. I mean, 3D did help, but the story, because I didn't really like the story that much the first time. But this time, I think the story was good. I mean, I think the story overall just arcing story of him seeing his father and everything, and also like Ratchet. I said Ratchet, Rocket. Going through what he's going through, like basically, every time he feels like he's being part of something, he kind of chases away because he's not used to being a family. Like that stuff was good. But it's just that I think they could have did better with the father. Like the setup of him, the father being a villain, was just awful because it's like Peter. I'm just thinking, like, if the father never told Peter that he killed his mother, would he just be a god with him?
Yeah.
Like, what? Because that seemed like he said it was so sad that I had to put that tumor in her. And then that's when Peter goes off on him. And I'm like, it was no reason for him to even tell him that. Truth.
Exactly.
I just never understood that. Like, I was like thinking the second time I watched it, maybe I missed something. And then I see, like, no, it doesn't make sense. Why did he even say that? And what did he thought? And then he started saying, like, calm down. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why'd you even say that? What you thought he was going to say or do? Like, at these, I was like, yeah, they couldn't think of nothing better.
He wanted to make sure that he was truly on his side, Dominic, and that was the only way they could test him.
Yeah, whatever. Like, you didn't have to tell him that truth. Or if that's the way you explain it. That's the way you explain this, and then Peter was like, I understand.
Yep. And then he goes full evil. He's like, my mom had to die.
Yeah, he never went back to Earth because of his mother was dead. Like the dude never, all this time, he could have gone back home to Earth, and he never did. It's like I think you telling him that you were the one who killed his mother is not going to help the relationship.
That's what happens, though, Dominic. When you're an absentee father, you don't have these kind of details. He didn't know he hadn't been back to Earth.
Well, he knows he has it. Anyway, yeah. But overall, the movie was damn good, and it looks damn good in 3D. Yeah. Also, I watched Expendables for the first time. I ain't never seen that movie before, so I said, I'm gonna find watch Expendables, and it would have been a great movie back in the 90s and 80s. Probably really the 80s, but the 90s too. Probably like the first half of the 90s,
because we still would have been coming off all these people being stars.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Instead of being irrelevant for like 10 years and then them trying this.
Relevant for 10. Man, some of them was fucking longer. It was like one of those cool nostalgia kind of things, like seeing these guys all together. It's like, oh, look at this. This is crazy. You see Bruce Willis and freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone in the same room. I said, this is crazy. Is it a good movie? No, but it's, I mean, if you like it, you like it. I mean, if you like stuff like this is definitely, if you think about dumb popcorn movie, this is definitely what that is.
Yeah.
Like, it's essentially what it is, really. It's not big on, like, I couldn't even tell you what the story was or why they even went over there to fight. I have no fucking idea. Like, I know they're mercenaries. That's it. I have, it's main. I'm not blaming the movie for that. Because for me, I wasn't really focusing on all that because I was, like I said, I would think it's probably playing the game at the same time while this thing was on. But it definitely didn't seem worth it. Like it didn't matter. Like it didn't matter as long as you just saw people getting killed. It was like the effects were definitely low budget. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, they were definitely low budget. I mean, but I can see why it was. It's like, yo, they know how much money this movie was going to make, and they didn't, and they got to pay these people too. I don't know how much they pay these stars. So there was like, yeah, we ain't gonna do, and you probably didn't even, you know what? And honestly, I wouldn't even gone too hard on the budget, even though I had it. It's like, it's no why. It's like like why even? I mean, the car chase scenes are fine. They were fine. Like stuff like that was fine. It's like when they went to the like cutting the heads off and the blood and stuff. That's what it's like. Oh yeah, this is definitely. It feels like they just still using the stuff from the 80s, and maybe that was intentional. I don't know. But yeah, it's a dumb popcorn movie and with a whole bunch of old guy action stars. And I'm gonna watch all of them. What else I gonna do? So what else have I watched? I watched Crazy Hearts, which is a country movie. A country movie that had Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
was the lead. I think he got. I don't know if he won or got nominated. I know he got. I think he got nominated. But I don't know if he won. I don't know if this won any awards. I know it got some nominations. It's okay. It's just a drunk old country guy, and he's going through his drunken habits. I mean, it's not a bad movie. I think it's good. It's just that I thought there was a little more to it. Like just him just being a drunk, really. But it wasn't, and he recovers. Oh, damn! I just spoiled the movie. Never mind. But I ain't know Colin Farrell was in it. He played He plays a young country. Well, younger, I should say. He's younger than him. Like he kind of was behind him when he was there. Like he kind of like this guy helped Colin Farrell up, and now it's like the other way around happening now because he offered to be his lead in. Like Colin Farrell had said, he'll be leading for his show. It's like, man, like how is this like? I had to lead in on his shows, after he was probably he was leading his shows, he was one who brought him up. But thing is, he needed the money. But yeah, I mean, it was good. He played a good part. Also, what's the woman name who played in Batman?
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, she's in this. She plays a reporter who ends up falling in love with him, which I didn't see that on this coming. I thought she was just going to be just a person doing interviews with him. Yeah. Because I didn't know nothing about this movie. I just saw Jeff Bridges and Crazy Hearts. I said, I heard it was a good movie. So let me check it out. I didn't think she was going to go off like and really be with him and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay. But whatever. Because then she even talks about how like she used to, her like with her ex, because she got a child, and said, yeah, just try to not make the same mistakes again. And I said, well, you ain't trying hard enough because you're mixing with a drunk country singer. Like,
that's why it's called Crazy Love, Dominic.
But yeah, but it's okay movie. It's okay movie. I think Jeff Bridges is really singing. It sounds like him. I think he is I think he got songs, right?
I think whatever. He does have like an album or something.
Yeah, I think he's just like what's his name, Captain Kirk. He got some music up there.
Yes.
Stuff like that. But what else he got? Oh, Louder Milk, which is a series. It's on Netflix. I don't know where it started or where it came from. I don't know where, but it's the guy who played in Office Space. The guy who started it. He plays a recovering alcoholic, and like he hosts the meetings. But he's like an asshole basically, and it's funny as hell. It is funny, man. I watched most of the first season. Also the guy the big guy who used to be on Mad TV, he's in it also.
Will
he's his
Sasso,
roommate
maybe.
And Canadian dude. But yeah, he's yeah, he's in it. He's his roommate. He's also recovered alcohol, but he don't. I never got why he don't go to the meetings too. I don't know. But yeah. But they is also a story like with him and this girl who's she's becoming like alcoholic and drugs, like because her father passed away, she just fell off, and her mother went to the priest, and the priest went to him to help her, and now she's ended up staying with him, like basically sleeping on his couch, because the mother won't take her in until she's clean. The guy convinced him to let him stay at their place because he'll give her brownie points for the girl he likes or whatever, or something like that. And also, it's a good thing to do. Also, a good thing, but yeah, it's a good show, man. It's funny, man. It's hilarious with these guys. It was one instance where like he got kicked out of the the community center of the church because he didn't help, because this is the first episode. He didn't help the girl like enough or something. And the mother got pissed off, and she went to the father, and the father said he'll kick him out. So he ended up having a meeting at a like a Starbucks kind of place, and the guy was telling the story about how he was used to give BJs for drugs and stuff, and like thing is, the scene opens up kind of like that. You don't know where they at, and then you realize they're at Starbucks, and some kids were in line. This man describing himself giving like blowjobs, and then he said, and then I hit rock bottom. Was ended up being in jail. Was arguing with the dude about. I was arguing with the dude about like what's better to do is to massage the shaft or fondle the balls. It was like what? Yeah, it's a hilarious show. Like I definitely recommend it. Cause I ain't never heard of this show before. I was just looking at things to look up. And that's a lot of milk. I say, hey, that looks like the guy from Office Space, and yeah, it's funny, and it's been out for a few seasons.
Oh, okay.
So it's been around. All right. So I guess we get to what we've been playing. So what you been playing, man?
So I've been playing mostly just Little Kitty Big City. Tried loading that up as a game for my daughter to try out. It was fine for her, but I started playing it quite a bit, and it's just kind of like they give you things to do, and I think as you do them, you'll progress and maybe get more abilities. You're basically this kitty who lived up in an apartment, and then you fell off the balcony, and now you're on the street level, and you're trying to make your way back up.
You land on your feet? Because all cats land
you
on
of course
feet.
Land on your feet. Yeah, no, absolutely. Unharmed, absolutely. And you're talking to other animals, and they're giving you tasks to do, like collect these things or do this or do that. But for the most part, like it's not a particularly interesting world to explore. So I'm not really motivated to do those things and see more of this area. It sounds like it's a really short game, so I may, depending on like if I keep loading it up, play some more of it and may even finish it. But so far it's not really doing much for me. Graphically it looks fine. It's kind of flat looking, cartoony. It's got these weird like pink outlines on a lot of things though, and at first I wasn't sure if that was like something that was trying to push me like, oh, this is an item that you're going to interact with, but that doesn't end up seeming to be the case. It just seems like that's kind of their art style that they're going for. Controls are fine. You have a run button. You have your left and your right triggers, let you bat at things with your left and right paw. But you can't do that while moving. So like they have you go up to people because there are people in the world, and you can either like cuddle up to them, or you can bat at their feet while they're walking, and then they'll fall over, and then they'll drop bread, which you then pick up and try and lure birds that you're trying to capture. But but like you have to do this thing where you like run up to them and get in front of them and then bat them. You can't like bat while you're moving, so it feels very like kind of stunted and awkward. Overall it seems like it could be a fine game, but there's not really much there to it that's really motivating me to. It also feels very wordy, like there's no voice acting to it, and just like these characters just keep going on and on. And it's like, just tell me about how I need to go collect these shiny things, please. Don't give me this whole story about how like, oh, you're trying to trick me into getting the shiny things for you because you're a crow and you want shiny things, but you don't want me to realize that I also might want shiny things or something like that. It's really silly. So yeah, that's really what I've been playing though this week.
All right. So I'm still playing Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. I think I'm closer to the end than anything. I did a lot of the side quests. I basically did all the races for that almost little copy of Chocobo Racing they have. I forgot what they call it, egg racing, I guess. I finished the cooking battle. I did. I'm a little upset how it ends because I think one of these guys killed somebody, and but then at the end it's kind of just like the guy, like the ball. Well, now the boss didn't really kill anybody, but he has a syndicate, and one of the guys, the assassins, killed somebody who one of my cooks, like his mentors, and because his mentor had joined them, and then we beat the mentor, and then the mentor was like, had changed heart, say, okay, it's like, I'm going to say you're right, and they said maybe you're right, I'll need to leave the syndicate, and then this assassin guy comes and kills him, and then I have to cook. I do a cooking battle with him. At first, I thought it was going to be like a joke, like, oh, he didn't really kill him. He probably just hit him with a frying pan or something. I don't know. But it's like he's not really dead. They're just kind of being oral dramatic. But no, the guy's dead. And then after I beat the boss guy, well, no, I think you killed. Yeah, you beat him in the cook off, and the cook kills the guy. Like it goes to a black screen. Like he kills the guy. And then you fight the boss, and then after you beat the boss, you kind of convince the boss like what he was doing is wrong. He said, "You're right. I'm gonna say I'm saying now I'm gonna change the group, so we'll do cooking, but not like for this reason. Like he was using cooking a way to take over the world. I don't know how that works, but he said he's not gonna do that anymore. But I'm like, yo, this man is the leader of the guy who killed your mentor. We're just gonna just be okay with this? Like we're just gonna let him just walk out of here. I was like, I'm very confused about this story. Like, I don't know, man. It's freaking weird. But I finished that. I still haven't collected all the heroes yet because I can't. Because I had to progress through some more of the story, and some people unlock until you get really close to the end, which I'm a little disappointed in because I was like, darn, when I get close to the end of something, I don't want to unlock it. I feel like at that point, I can just go right to the end. I feel like it's got to be... I feel like I always like RPGs, like it has to be a certain point where if you get past the halfway point, where I can just do everything, and then it can just focus on the game. But it's a lot of game left. It's not like we're like, oh, I just go to this place, this dungeon, and game's over. I never liked that because I was like, I don't know, because I just want to have a point where I can just feel like I can just play through the game without having to worry about missing anything. And it's at that point is where it's like, oh, I only have one thing to do. Of course I'm not going to miss anything. It's like, that's it. I mean, this is it. And like now, because then it feels like I don't know. It doesn't feel fulfilling to me because it feels like, why do I even care about doing this extra stuff now? If all I do, because the whole point of me is getting stronger, right? It's like I feel like I'm already there. Like I'm already at the point right now that I'm strong enough to fight the boss. And usually the extra stuff might be harder. If it's like a boss or something that's harder or something that's not even like part of the story. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just that I never felt. I always like in Final Fantasy VII. I never really liked that. There were some things I couldn't do until the third disc, I think. Always felt like I wanted to be able to do it before. Like I want to have more story left than just one dungeon left, like that I had to go through before I set Sephiroth, where I can do everything. I want to have I want to have the ability to do all the side quests before maybe like there's still 30% of the story left or something like that.
Yeah.
Not just 10%.
Because you also want to feel like those side quests maybe have some effect on what could go forward, right?
And yeah, I think that's really what it is. It's like because they make it like it's not going to do anything. Like as far as story,
it's like now I'm just checking this thing off a list.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah, I don't want to be just thinking check off the list. It's like because this is really about unlocking a lot of characters. I'm like, I don't want to unlock a character that's just like right before the end. What's the point? I'm not going to use them probably. It's like I'm not going to use this character because I've been using probably the characters I've been using all throughout. I'm not going to just use this new guy now. Like I wish I would have had him before to know if I wanted to use him or not. I feel like at this point in this game and the way I'm seeing where I am at a story, I almost feel like I should have unlocked everybody by now. I feel like I should be able to get this should be all the characters I could get. I shouldn't be having to unlock any new guys right now.
Yeah.
Unless they're like some super duper, they got some stats that's just ridiculous or something like that. Like that, and he's really hard to get. I don't know, but yeah, I feel like I should be at a point where I should be able to get all the characters. But and I thought I was, and I said, oh no, I said, so the things unlock. I said, come on, man, we're getting close to the end here. But anyway, but overall, this game is great. Like I'm really enjoying it. Overall, like I said, it even having voice dialogue, I'm really surprised. Also, I like the combat. The combat system is pretty good. It's like really basic, but it's cool. I like the different gameplay elements to it, like when you do the war battles, the strategy behind that, doing that, and all the side games like the Bakugan game. I said, Bakugan, Beyblade's game they have in there, the card game they have in there, the Chocobo racing stuff like that. It has a lot to this game, man. So yeah, this is one of the surprises for me personally because I wasn't really paying attention to this game. Yeah. I honestly didn't think I was going to be playing it, but yeah, it turns out it's actually pretty damn good. Also I played some Vampire Survivors. I've been playing still some more of the story mode. I finished one story. Now I'm on the third one. I think it's like 4 or 5 the characters that you can do stories with. And then I might just I'm gonna get more into the the Contra stuff, or actually I think that there's another DLC stuff that I haven't really messed with. But I think that was just unlocking weapons. Well, no, I think it was another stage. So before the Contra that I didn't do. So yeah, it's a lot of game there for that, and I've just been playing the shitload of that. Really, yeah, it's just having fun with that game, man. What weapon? It was some new weapon I tried with some bubbles that I never had done before. That it seemed pretty all right. What else I play? Oh, Humanity is finally on Xbox Game Pass. So I finished because I never did finish the tutorial from the when I was playing on PS5. PS5/PC. So I finally finished the tutorial, and I played some of the first. Did I play all the first stage? I think I did. But it's one. But thing is, I didn't collect the 2. You collect these gold guys, like they're like special bonuses that you can collect. You don't have to get them. But I want to try to get him because this one guy I can't even see. I don't know where he is, but I think I know how to unlock them, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get it so the people can touch that button. So I do like the puzzles in this. It's fun. It's fun trying to figure out this stuff out. How to do it. I've got the ability for them to jump. So I say, oh, you can make people jump now, and now I got it where they can jump even higher. So it's just, man, it's a lot. Yeah, this is basically what lemons, like, I imagine, I guess the
Yeah.
lemons in the new generation would be. Which I'm surprised. Like, they haven't. When was the last time they made a lemons game?
Jesus, I have no idea. There's
'Cause-
probably like some mobile game that came out like last year, but
oh yeah, you probably is. Or
but
something.
like in a
but yeah,
a
lemons
real
was,
thing, it's probably been quite a while.
yeah, I mean, this is essentially what I think it would be. I need to get on that. I need to buy the license of lemons and try
Exactly.
to
It's
make this
retro.
game.
Add some DLC to humanity for lemmings.
Yeah, they should. They should do that. Say, hey, retro like lemons, the lemons mode where you just change everybody to lemons.
Yep.
When I found out what real lemons look like, I was disappointed.
I definitely just typed in lemmings, and the first thing I got was actual lemmings, not the real lemmings, like I believe.
Yeah, because I remember my dad said they're real animals, and I looked them up, and I was like, that's what they look like? They look like hamsters. And I used to just think like, oh, and then I said, oh, they just kill themselves. That's what they do. They're a cult.
Yep.
They're a cult. They're a hamster cult. That's what they are, Daniel. What else have I played? I think that's it. That's all I've played. Really, I'm trying to think. Did I try anything new? I didn't try multiverses yet. I think that's all I played. So I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. So now we're flashbacking to 2014. So we're gonna do it's a few games in May, and I think it's like one game or in June. Yeah. Well, probably not for 2014. I think that's 2004. But yeah, so we're kind of finishing off May. We're trying to finish May with these games. I'm surprised I didn't finish off last week. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, we got Watch Dogs came out on the 27th of May, freaking 10 years ago. It's been 10 years. 10 years since Watch Dogs came out. This was like the next generation, one of those next generation games that was shown off. It was like between Watch Dogs and Star Wars 1313, whatever it's called. Like we all thought like it was, because the graphics look incredible. So it was like, oh man, this is next gen stuff, man. And then when they got one game got canceled, and then when we finally got Watch Dogs, we was like, oh, this don't look like the game that we initially saw. I mean, it still looked good, but it wasn't that good. Maybe it looks that good now though, after 10 years. Maybe you got the PC mods and stuff looking that good. It's probably years ago they probably did that. But yeah, they got looking just as good as what it used to look like, what we thought was going to be. But Watch Dogs, yeah, that game took, when I finally got my hands on it, it was, it was an okay game, but it wasn't great. I did like the whole connecting to people's phones and listening to them and things of that nature. That was fun. But I think it was if I can remember, I know the story wasn't that strong. The character himself wasn't, really something like I don't know, I really connect with him. Like he was kind of bland. It wasn't until 2 where they really jump off and really did great. Yeah. But
they give that a lot more personality.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it was. Yeah, Watch Dogs didn't. Yeah, the first one didn't really have enough personality to it. And then I know some people were compared to like Assassin's Creed. Want to say like, yeah, they like it's their first game, and then they come like, they like some people just give excuses like it's the first game and it was good for what it was. But it's like I'm tired of that excuse, because I'm like, y'all talk like these people are new, like. When there's like that only flies with like. Well, are you telling me none of these people worked on games before? Like if they didn't never work on games before, or the guy who written a story before, this is the first story he ever written. Like that's the only way that excuse flies. Because other than that, I'm like, you got a whole bunch of previous stuff to look at to know what to improve on, and then what you could do. I mean, I don't know. It's like that excuse only works in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
Like in this one, I think you had some people, some veteran leadership there, people in that nature that, nah, I can't give you everything an excuse on. But I mean, it's a fine game. I mean, and sometimes it's not an excuse. Maybe just the product you put out there is what it is, and it wasn't horrible. It wasn't that it's horrible or anything, but it just wasn't as great as like, I mean, potentially what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking Game of the Year contender, honestly, with that game, but it just didn't turn out to be that. Another game that came out, the Wii U had a huge game that came out,
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8, probably its biggest game. Honestly, I wonder what is the Wii U's biggest game. Was this the biggest game?
I think
on the
it
Wii U?
might be the biggest game, yeah.
Yeah,
Just like it's continued on the Switch too with Deluxe. Like, just it's been insane.
Oh yeah. Well, the Switch. Yeah, I know. Definitely is the biggest game there. But I just always wanted to know why did Mario Kart, just like Mario Kart 7. Well, technically, I guess it's 6 on the Wii because 7 was the DS. And I mean that sold a shitload too. Why is it that game the big seller?
I
Why is
guess
that the
there's
huge
some
seller?
like there's obviously the kid friendly aspect of it, but I think like it's the most accessible game too. Like even compared to their platformers, this game is the easiest game for kids to play. So like parents buy it, plus people that just enjoy Mario Kart buy it. So I think it just has like the biggest appeal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that then. Yeah. Because like, I just imagine when I was a kid, when I had a hard time with Mario. I have a hard time with Mario now.
I mean, it's incredible some of the stuff that they have in there. Just like the audio acceleration helps, and then now they have like the ability for the game to basically steer for you. So it's the game that I can give my daughter, and as long as those things are on, she can confidently come in like first and second place in the easier races. So it's like, builds up some self-esteem.
Yeah. Until they get out to the real world, and then it just smashes them. The smash. It's kind of sounds okay. All right, but yes, Mario Kart 8, man, it was great. I played it eventually, even before I got on the Switch, on the Wii U, and I used to love how it looked, man. I used to, oh my god, this looks so great. And yeah, the stages, music, everything, man, was just incredible for that game.
Yeah. And they went back to more classic, like with Double Dash, they added like all the extreme like looking karts and stuff. And this one they went back to the more traditional kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Well, they did that, I guess, with the Wii version. And then this one, of course, just kind of boosted on top of that. So
all right. So, also I have some news for GameSpy. 10 years ago, GameSpy shuts down the GameSpy server network.
Man, that's why everybody had to buy Mario Kart 8, because Mario Kart 7 was getting shut down along with the GameSpy network.
So, yeah, GameSpy was something I honestly did not know what the hell it was. Like, I used to always see it on computer games.
Yeah.
And like see GameSpy up there. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, is this some type of security? Is that what this is? And honestly, I still don't know what it is.
It's basically like back-end software that companies use to make their stuff online a little bit easier without them having to build it out. That's why a lot of Nintendo stuff used it, because it was like, here, we built this for you, basically. GameSpy started out, I believe, as just like a website. I remember going there for like video game news and whatnot.
That's what I remember. That's what I remember going there for. That's why I was very confused about what it was.
Yeah, and then I think they started doing like tunneling stuff, where it was like, okay, I'll make Halo a local only game, be able to be played online if you use this like tunneling software. And then I think that kind of evolved into, hey, we're making these tools, let's legitimize them And then, they started being the back end for a lot of stuff.
They were spying on. I just thought they were just spying on your games, man.
I mean, they were
It's
also
like,
doing
man.
that. Absolutely.
But yeah, so is GameSpot. I don't know if the service they're not. Are they still? Are they anything right now?
I think I'm sure GameSpy as some sort of brand still exists, but it's probably like one of those things. It's like buy a
Can I
holding
buy T-shirts
company.
anywhere?
Can you buy what?
That's it. T-shirts.
Oh,
so the
hey, GameSpy powered by IGN. There you go.
That's right. I mean, that's yeah.
And to that point, the last article that is on this GameSpy.com website is goodbye and thank you from the GameSpy team from Dan Stapleton on February 21st of 2020 or 2013. So, yeah. It is just
so this is probably the last day on the coffin then right here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and now it just has links to IGN places, including One Up, which probably has a similar just posting that says like goodbye.
All right, so that's it for 2014. So now we're going back 20 years to 2004, and we got a huge game that came on Xbox that I was so jelly of back in the day. The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher's Bay.
Yeah.
This was the the prequel to what's that movie called?
Pitch Black?
Yeah, Pitch Black, right? Yeah, this is when he was in prison. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the prequel to that. And like I didn't even know. Yeah, it was so cool cuz it was like, wow, they're making a game about this character. I said, "Okay, that's cool cuz I did like that character from Pitch Black." And this is the first time I really got to. And Pitch Black was the first time I really got to know who the hell. And I forgot his name.
Vin Diesel.
The Groot. Oh, okay. Yeah. See, Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel was.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. And it was like when they showed this game, I was reading about this game and I saw how it looked. I said, "Oh my god, this game looks good." And I think I finally saw it played on X Play or something along those lines, or Tech TV or one of those anything somewhere I saw it actually be played. I was like, oh my god, this looks so good. I said, why couldn't it be on PlayStation? Why couldn't it be on PS2?
It was legitimately one of the best looking games at the time. Like I think it might have been the best looking game at the time. I mean, I'm sure PC people would probably be like, it's console bullshit. What are you talking about? But yeah.
And then I finally played like years later when I got an Xbox. I got that game and oh man, when I played this, man, this looks so good. Like just walking around talking to people in first person because I never played Half-Life or anything like that. So I never experienced with first person people just going up there and talk to them. I think the closest thing it was like Red Faction.
Yeah.
Where you had those moments where you're not fighting, you're just kind of just walking around in the environment, getting to your next thing, and I was like, wow. And but this, like how the graphics look and everything, then the combat was cool. And then the whole thing about you can kind of see in the dark. Because I think then you got to the lower levels. That's why I didn't like it no more. Because it got start getting scary. You start fighting these like zombie vampire thing, whatever the fuck they were, and I don't know what the hell they were. But I didn't like that part. I think I think I ended up beating the game though. Yeah, I ended up beating the game. I finally got past that, man. But I was like, God, I was like, damn it. So why? I said I knew it was gonna get somewhere scary. So I was thinking like, no, it was not like Pitch Black because Pitch Black was scary. So at least I don't have to deal with nothing like that. But then I deal with that shit. I said, oh crap. But yeah, it was. This game was it was cool, man. And I remember we got like a lot of good reviews for well, at least I see a lot of good reviews, even though the only one I looked at was Game Informer, because that's the only magazine I was reading. But it did get it got a 90 on PC, 89 on Xbox.
Yeah.
For Metacritic. What a Game for gave it a 9.5. Yeah, because that's what I saw. I used to be mad. I was like, it's gotta come on PlayStation one day, and no, it didn't.
Nope,
it never did. But yeah, man, game was cool. Did you play it?
I played some of it. I think it eventually came out on PC, right? And I think I played some of it there, but my PC struggled to play it, so I never really played too much of it.
Yeah, because I'm reading this right here. It's just compared. They even compared it to Doom 3 and Half-Life 2. And that's what they. Now that I played all those games, yeah, especially Doom 3, like it had that sort of look of Doom 3, like the shading of the characters and stuff like that. Definitely reminded me of Doom 3. Because I had both those games. Actually, yeah, I had both those games at the same time when I ended up getting an Xbox years later. And unfortunately, the only one I could beat was it was Riddick, because Doom 3 scared the shit out of me.
Ironically enough, just the guys that do Payday now, they found what made them money, and they're just like, we'll stick with this.
All right. So what else we got here? Oh, Full Spectrum Warrior was released also
on
Xbox. This is like a busy. Like, this was, I'm trying to remember what the date was. I think it was this the same day as Butcher's Bay? Or the same week? I forget. Maybe a week before, maybe, if anything. But, yeah, Full Spectrum Warrior was a tactics, like, action game that started out as just, like, a military, game for, soldiers to train with.
Yeah.
And then they had like that version, and then they have a commercial version for us.
Propaganda, Dominic.
Which added more story and things of that nature. I never really paid attention to it when I was younger, but I used to always see all the ads for it in magazines, and I don't know why, because I didn't even know it was like a military training game at first, and now I know, like, oh yeah, they're gonna the U.S. probably help put those damn ads in and shit like that before they can get people to either get the game or and be want to join the army. But yeah, but it also got some good ratings, like, because it wasn't a straight action like shooter. You actually have to control these two teams, and you have to tell them what to do. Like, it's a tactics game.
Yeah.
And it got nominated for some awards. I think it lost out. It came out the same year as Rome Total War, though. So that won the tactics thing. But for an Xbox game, I mean, this definitely was pretty cool. And I think I had a window open for it. I must have closed it. But yeah, but I remember hearing about it years later about this game, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think it was like a good game or anything, because I didn't pay attention, because it was on Xbox. It did come on PS2 eventually, but it got lower scores. I think it was 74 Metacritic, 84 for Xbox though. No. PC had an 80. Game for gave it 8.25. I mean, that's respectable, but it wasn't. I wasn't really thinking about it, and plus military stuff. I like anything brown, like brown and greenish color. Yeah. I didn't care, Daniel, at that time. I needed something more fun, like Halo or something like that. Low more color.
Shooting aliens.
Yeah.
Bright colors.
Yeah. Yeah, or if it's like Medal of Honor. If it's gotta be like Medal of Honor. If it ain't like that, then nah. I'll do World War II. But I was like, I don't care about the current war stuff. I don't care about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, because I didn't like sand, Daniel. I was like Anakin Skywalker. I don't like sand. I don't care about fighting in Iraq or Afghanistan or anything. The Middle East.
Yeah. No Arrakis for you.
But yeah, what'd you say?
No Arrakis for you either.
Yeah. Yep. No. Nah, I definitely wouldn't have been. Say, forget that spice. Nah, man. I'll say we'll go to the planet where the Old Spice is. Get some Old Spice so you get there. All right. But yeah, this did get like some awards. Let me see. It's got Computer Games Magazine 2004 Best Interface Award. You got GameSpot's Most Innovative Game Prize. Yeah, because I didn't know that it played like that.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing it thinking like, oh, cool, third-person shooter. And then like the more I saw of like, oh, you just like direct the guys where to go. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I thought it was, I thought it was a regular third-person shooter. And nope, and it's actually something a little different. And actually something more creative, actually, tell you the truth. And this is the guys, Pandemic Studios. They end up doing Mercenaries. So they went from being like real soldiers that it said like, man, fuck the government. I'm going to get paid more money. I'm going to Blackwater. And that's how Mercenary started. All right. Where we are. Where are we now? 1994. Okay, so that's it. So now we're going back 30 years, Daniel. So 1994. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was released on Genesis.
Oh.
In Japan, though. See, the US version got it first.
Yeah.
And this is like the few times I can think of like where a big game has got released in the US first.
Because we created
that was
Sonic,
Japanese
damn
made. What'd you say?
We created Sonic. That's us.
I know. Exactly. And yeah,
we use them for their development. We created that character.
Yeah, and
Sonic's the most American character.
He really is. I mean, come on, a hedgehog. I mean, there is. I think
hedgehog with attitude, even? Dominic.
I think of hedgehogs in woodlands, and I think of woodlands as the American. I don't think about Japanese.
We're the only
woods,
place that has trees.
I only think of pandas. I only think about pandas in Japanese woods, Daniel, and foxes. In those in foxes because of that spirit fox, but yeah, so yeah, because it was so odd because I was like, man, what other big game that was Japanese made released in America before it released in their own darn country?
Yeah,
and I think Michael Jackson had something to do with that thing.
It probably he had the star power to make sure it happened for us Americans first.
All right, so that is it for the flashback segment as far as games. So now we're going to do covers. This is a new month. We're doing video game covers, magazines. So now we're going back to 2014, and we're starting off with Edge magazine, and we got Sunset Overdrive on the front here.
Oh yeah,
this is the new game for Xbox, exclusive to Xbox from Insomniac. This was huge. This like Insomniac was like now a third party now. They're away from EA. And they got a deal with Microsoft to make a game for them for their Xbox newest system. And yeah, man, I was so excited for this, man. Cause I was like, oh, Insomniac had a whole new game and it's gonna be exclusive to Xbox. Wow.
Yeah.
And it looked cool. It was very colorful, man, and you're shooting these monsters and stuff. So and so it reminded me of like Ratchet and Clank,
yeah, there's a lot of traversal and grinding on things, and
so I was like, man, it looks neat and everything, and I didn't play the game till like years later, and it was okay, and I never did. I always kept saying I was gonna go play some more, and I never did. I never did. Went back, but you probably still played more than definitely I did. So
yeah,
how'd you enjoy it?
I didn't end up enjoying it as much as I had kind of hoped and kind of built myself up to. I think it's a game like you said. I'd really like to revisit it some point. But I don't know if it was just like the constant movement was maybe a little too much. But yeah, I really liked everything about the game, but there was something about it that just didn't quite click in the same way that at that point, like the Ratchet and Clank games had. Those ended up being like, those exceeded my expectations, even though I kind of had high expectations for them. That PS3 one, was incredible. And then this kind of came along and I was just like, yeah, this is all right.
So what else they got up here? They got The Last of Us meets PS4, the inside story. Wait a minute, because Last of Us, it came on PS3 first.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a PS3 game, right? So this is the first time they up-resed it, and then...
Yeah.
God, that game really has been up-resed for every generation since it released, huh?
Then you got Rez creator Tetsuya Mizuguchi on his return to video games. And reviews of Trials Fusion, Mario Kart 8, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
Oh, man.
The Elder Scrolls Online, and Child of Light.
Yeah.
Child of Light. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's a Ubisoft RPG.
And that's been releasing ever since. I keep seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's a sale or something. I just see it all the freaking time. What else we got here? We got Xbox Magazine. And we got Tales of the Borderlands on the front. Greed is good in Telltale's wild new adventure. Why we're over the moon about the Borderlands pre-sequel. Oh, the pre-sequel too. Yes, which it wasn't as good as the second game, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But the Tales of the Borderlands, one of my favorite Telltale games. I like the story. I love how it's just very. It took a lot of the stuff from the games and implemented it into it. I say that's pretty cool. That what Telltale did with that, as far as like really
like expanding the universe.
Partnering, expanding the universe, but partnering with Gearbox and really just taking like the elements of their game and like to really mesh it so that even though it's a Telltale game, it's point and click now mostly. Like a point and click type of game anyway. You still move around, but it feels like it also feels like Borderlands 2 at the same time. As far as the Borderlands world, I should say, it feels like you're still in the Borderlands world, like just playing it differently. And I think it's pretty cool how they did that. And it sucks that in 3 it kind of just does nothing with it. I prefer it had done nothing with the story instead of having some of the characters in there, because it kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
It kind of ruined those characters for me. And there's only these two. I don't see the women in there in the 3, unless they're in the DLC. Is only the 2 male characters who I see, and it kind of, I don't know, I don't like it, because I'm like, wait a minute, in my story he was with this other woman, so what happened? Did they break up? Is she alive?
Sounds like they should have got some of those writers from the Telltale games that probably got fired and lost their jobs and hired them for Borderlands 3.
All right, so what else we have here? We have Farewell BioShock, our take on the series' bittersweet final chapter.
Not the final chapter, Dominic. We're going to hear more about BioShock this year. Maybe.
All right. Alien Isolation. It's the scariest game on Xbox.
Pretty intense.
Question mark? It was. It was pretty damn scary. I'm actually scared more of those freaking pan-faced freaking robots.
Yeah.
God darn.
They did a good job of balancing that game by using them.
Got, man. What'd you say?
I said they did a good job balancing that game, because you don't constantly see the aliens, so they use those robots as just like these kind of stand-ins to fill out the fear, basically.
Hyper Life Drifter, Zelda beats Mizuzaki in an action RPG. Then you have The Crew, which you can't play that game anymore, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Race coast to coast with your friends.
Play 2 anymore. Or is it just one that they took down?
Man, yeah, the servers are done. I remember some guys were complaining about that, and I'm like, yeah, you should let the game still be on for those 2 people. Gear up on Xbox One with accessories to buy and which to avoid. Some people will say the console itself.
No.
Batman is back. 10-page blog, Rocksteady's triumphant return. The last great hurrah. I said it. I don't know what a Suicide Squad is. All right, so what else we got here? Let's go to another next magazine cover. We got the last one for 2014, Game Informer. And we got Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, a new era of combat. Look at this long cover. This is when now we're finally, Actually, what? Wait a minute. Was this the first one with jetpacks?
I don't remember because like Black Ops 3 was futuristic stuff, but I don't
That
remember.
came out after.
Did it?
Didn't that come out after this?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Because the first game of the new generation was
I mean, Black Ops 3 was
technically
2015.
It was cross gen. It was Ghosts. And,
right, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think Ghosts had jetpacks, so
No.
I think this might be.
They had dolphin
this
dives.
would be the first one. Oh, you said who dives?
They had dolphin dives.
Oh, dolphin dives. Oh, dolphin dives. Oh, okay. But yeah, so yeah, this is when they're finally going like a little futuristic here, man. And there was like, and then some people were there. They were upset. Some people were upset, like, no, I want boots on the ground. Even though, I want something different.
Cybernetic boots on the ground.
I liked it. I liked the whole jump pack stuff, man. I mean, especially with Titanfall.
Yeah. What was the like space one?
The one with Kevin Spacey?
Yeah. Or
or the one you bought. Or the one you bought.
The one I bought.
Infinite.
Infinite, that's what it is. Okay. Infinite Warfare.
Is this the one with Kevin Spacey?
I don't think so.
Is it banned?
Spacey.
Is that game banned? Because of Kevin?
That's going to be the one that they don't do backwards compatibility on. Yeah, you're right. It's Advanced Warfare, so it is this one. Look, you can watch 25 and a half minutes of all Kevin Spacey scenes from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare in 4K. Oh, shit, Dominic. In 2017, there was a new patch that replaced Kevin Spacey. God damn it, that's hard drive.
Oh.
Which does the fake, like, onion stuff for technology. I knew as soon as I saw the picture, which was Tom Hanks, I was like, that didn't happen. But that should have happened. That would have been great.
He's another country guy. He's a southern guy. He got a southern accent.
Exactly. Let him just do that southern accent that he did in the Elvis movie. Which apparently was very bad.
Wait a minute, what movie was that one about?
The Elvis movie. He played
Elvis,
the Colonel or whatever.
Or the one he did with the Wayans brother. What was that one called? When it was breaking into somebody's house.
Oh, what is that called?
I've never seen that movie.
I don't think I have either. I can explicitly remember it though, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I can remember it because the commercial. I've seen the commercial like a billion times.
Yeah.
I remember the basement.
The Lady Killers, that's what it was.
Lady Killers, yes.
It was a Coen Brothers movie. That's the next movie you got to watch, Dominic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe I'll actually watch it. All right. So what else we have here? That's it for 2014. So now we're going back 20 years, 2004. We got the unofficial PlayStation magazine. We got Dante on the front from Devil May Cry 3, Young Dante. So this is the prequel to Devil May Cry 1 and 2. Now, I was very excited for this game because I heard like, yeah, they're not going to do the things they did in 2. And thing is, I think because I saw the bad reviews on 2, I didn't even bother playing it.
Yeah.
Really, at the time. So, I definitely was going to buy it. So, when I saw this, I was like, yes, I'm excited. And then when I saw that trailer, I remember seeing the trailer in college. Because I think it was E3, and they had online, and I was looking online the trailer, and I watched the trailer like so many times because it was just so badass. It was like you could see all the moves he can do, and when I saw the one where he would just like pull out his guns and just shuffle them and just shoot it around, and I was like, oh my god! David did a spin. He used to do this like the almost like the breakdancing spin and just shooting around the guns and slice. God, I used to love seeing that stuff when I was young, and I was like, "Oh my god, this looks so awesome!" And yeah, when I finally got this game, God, this is before God of War. This game came out before God of War, so at the time, this was the best action. This is my favorite action game ever. This is my favorite action game ever. Yeah. It was Devil May Cry 3. It's Devil May Cry 3. But I was like, when I played, because I used to tell my friend that, man, I said, man, I'm playing Devil May Cry 3, man. I said, this game is fucking awesome. They had to do this dude is awesome. I say it's like but yeah. So I didn't know nothing about Devil May Cry. I mean God of War, even though right here it says, look, give me 2004. Why Sony's God of War will change a bunch of games forever.
Yeah, which is crazy because it does.
Yeah, it really does. All right. So what else they got here? What else was got up here? Devil May Cry 3, world exclusive. The badass is back. Dare we say it? It looks even better than the first game. Then you have Maximum Metal Gear, which totals off 26 new secrets revealed, 74 new screens. Look at that. Just look at the screens, Daniel.
Yeah.
That was enough
for us.
Great. Yes. You also got King of Fighters, Maximum Impact. The classic fighter goes 3D. Oh man. First hands-on, only in PlayStation Magazine. And Enthusia. Exclusive screens of Konami's stunning answer to Gran Turismo 4. Yep, and it beats it.
Yep. They driving lame-ass cars like a Mini and whatever that other Mini-like car is.
Yes, what to say. Like
yeah, Citron or something like
that. Jack 3, hands-on with the sequel to our 2003 Game of the Year. Ratchet and Clank 3, first play test of the game.
It's wild that those came out like that, so closely.
Yeah. It used to be like Jack and Daxter. Then it was Ratchet and Clank. Then it was Jack 2. Then it was Ratchet and Clank 2. Then Jack 3, then Ratchet and Clank 3. Now I don't know Ratchet and Clank 3 and Jack 3. I don't know if they were a year apart. They probably were shorter. Yeah. But it's just it was just crazy that every other year I had these platformers of PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2, god damn, that I swear that generation, man, was just sick. It was fucking sick.
It was packed, and it had so much diversity, too. Like, it covered all of the spectrums, basically. You had your RPGs, you had your platformers, you had your weird, obscure Japanese games, you had your music games with, like, Rock Band, stuff like that. Or not Rock Band, but Guitar Hero. You basically had everything.
And I mean, then you had those music, like, the obscure game. Well, I guess Rez is like music obscure.
Yeah. And then of course Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, oh my god, yeah, those are good times. Those were this is when Crunch was good, and people died with dignity at working at a computer. They working on a computer game,
sitting at a computer,
and playing them, they died with dignity, Daniel. We were okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the people then Rogue Nation came, Daniel.
We appreciate their service.
Then Rogue Nation came and said this stuff is wrong. Everything's wrong. The games you make is wrong. How you make them is wrong.
Damn Rockstar Wife or whatever that account was.
Def Jam Vendetta 2's 6 new screens you be out of your hizzy to miss.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Dominic.
I think Snoop Dogg wrote that.
Probably, yeah.
For that. All right. So now we're going to PC Gamer Magazine. And what do we have here? We got Half-Life 2 on the front, and that's Freeman. The Freeman, as the aliens would say, or wherever the fuck they come from. Another dimension, I think. Are they even aliens or just another dimension?
I think another dimension.
Yeah.
It's so funny seeing him as like this action star in this like Matrix-esque pose of like dual wielding while
I know. Now I see him as Robert Downey Jr.
He does very much look like Tony Stark in this picture.
But he has to wear glasses. It's like, yo, can't just get contacts. This makes it easier.
I was a scientist, damn it.
All right, so Half-Life 2, the world exclusive first play test, man. Mm-hmm. Or what some people would call like the greatest game ever at the time.
Yeah.
Also, you got E3 Hot List, 30 previews of the show's best games.
E3.
GeoForce 6800 Ultra, baby.
I don't know about the Ultra, but I had a 6800 at some point.
The 3D card you'll need for half... I can't see what this is on the bottom here.
Half-Life 2.
Why can't I see it, though? I got full screen on, don't I? Oh, shit. I know I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, I can't see... Because, you know what? I guess I could read the bottom of the other screen. Well, whatever. We passed the magazine. Because I couldn't read the bottom. I thought it was cut off.
Oh, weird.
For Half-Life 2? Darn.
Yeah, I think that's why I bought one, too. Because I want to play Half-Life 2. That's what they told me.
Also, what has it got here? You got Thief, Deadly Shadows, hands-on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Was that... I should have said that game. I could have sworn I saw that on, that wasn't up here?
Let's see. Thief.
For, like, games that came up?
Yeah. It was, but it came out on PC. It was already out on Xbox previously.
Oh, when did it come out for Xbox?
Like a couple of months ago, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I did I say it then?
I believe we talked about it then, because it was around. Was it around the same time as Deus Ex? I don't know, but I think we talked about it because basically it was the one that I don't want to say killed the series, but everybody was like, "Oh, we're looking forward to it," but then all the like PC people were like, "Oh wait, no, what am I looking at here?" Oh, I was looking at the European release for some reason, thinking that was... No, you're right. This came out on Xbox and PC at the same time.
Was this rated good? Was this a good Thief?
I think it was rated okay, but a lot of PC people were like, this is the dumbed down console version. Xbox has ruined our series. I think that's what happened with this one, just like the Deus Ex game.
All right. Okay, people with the stick up their asses. Well, look, we got it got an 85 on Metacritic. So yeah, I think it's good enough to at least mention. This is now what is it? Is this like a sequel or a third one? Which one is it?
I don't. Let's see. He still plays Garrett. Late Middle Ages.
It's the third one.
Okay.
Yeah, because Thief came out in 1998. I remember that because a guy in middle school, because he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play this game, Thief, man. This is definitely a real stealth game, man. You will have shadows and stuff." And I didn't have PC, so I didn't care. So I was like, "Is it on PlayStation?" He said, "No, it's on PC." I said, "I don't care." Then Thief 2 came out in 2000.
Yeah, I played the demo of that a lot. Because I had like a demo disc
metal
or something
age.
for it.
Oh, that's what heavy metal music or something like that.
Yeah.
And Thief Deadly Shadows came out 2004. Then we had a long space until Thief 2014 came out.
That's a series I would like to see return eventually, but I don't even know like who owns that at this point.
Wow, so it was 10 years. So 10 years later, Thief 24. The Thief came out.
So we're going to get a new Thief game this year, Dominic. But like, that's IDOS, and like, who owns IDOS? Is it still Square Enix, or did they get split back off? I can't remember how that
I thought they got rid of them with Tomb Raider in them.
That's what I thought, but I couldn't remember it completely.
All right, what was I looking at here? The PC Gamer magazine. Okay, what they got here? They reviewed Far Cry, Unreal Tournament 2004, Battlefield Vietnam.
Yeah.
And flashbacks, Daniel. Yeah, flashbacks. All right. What else we have here? We got Game Informer. Mm-hmm. And we got 2 covers for Game Informer. Man, I was so happy to get this magazine. I cried when I saw this in the mailbox, because I was like, oh my god, it's a Grand Theft Auto.
Which cover did you
San
get?
Andreas. It's another one coming out. Like, I think the first time I ever seen anything about Grand Theft Auto was in GameStop, because they had those like empty cases showing like another Grand Theft Auto coming out or something like that.
Man.
And that's what I saw. I was like, I'm trying to think. I think I went to see I went to see Spider-Man 2. And we were just walking around Rundle Mills before the movie. And then went to GameStop, and I think that's where I did purchase my MVP baseball and shit that year. I saw the box. It said Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I was like, what the heck? I said, what is this? And yeah, man, I shucks. And then this magazine came. I was like, oh my goodness, just looking at the screens of this stuff, seeing that you're playing as a black dude, and it take place in the 90s. Yeah. I said, oh my God, this is a dream. I said, this is, oh my God, this is so awesome. And I remember too, because I was working at Former Mills, which is a clothing store.
Yeah.
And, which is still around. I think they're still up there at Catonsville Plaza too.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, last time I saw it, I didn't see I thought I saw some people going in. I was like, holy shit, I thought they closed down.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Foreman Mills.
I remember I was working there, and a guy there, we were we got the game, we were talking about this stuff. And I remember he gave me a ride home, and I remember he said all right, he always say, all right, see, Dom, it's a Grove Street for life, man. It's a Grove Street for life. He always said, man, oh man, I played the hell out of that game, man. Shit, this is because now I didn't have school, so I mean I still had to work though. I mean I worked then, but I had more time though. Time like school. I didn't have to cut school like I did for Vice City. So yeah, man, I used to play hell this game. Man, I used to love it, even though I hated that fucking It was some mission I hate. I forgot what it was. So I keep thinking about Vice City's helicopter mission, but I know that's not it. It was something else though in this game that was so freaking frustrating. But this being so huge, like a huge state, and going everywhere, and then going to the woods and stuff and things. Oh my goodness, it was wild. Yeah, look at this cover here. I actually like the plain one better. I didn't have this one. I had the one with the guy on the front.
Oh, okay.
The plain one was pretty all right. 3 cities, 1 state, 10 pages, 1 unbelievable story.
Yeah.
Look at that. Man. Grand Theft Auto. And what they got up top here, they got Prince of Persia 2, the sequel.
That's the Warrior
to that
Within.
great game.
That's when they added the butt rock.
Yeah. Then it has Destroy All Humans. I loved that game. Loved it, man. It was so cool killing humans. And Tony Hawk's Underground 2. And they got Time Splitters 3, which is the best Time Splitters because it actually has a story. And Vin Diesel. And Vin Diesel look dude on the front. That's a game that needs to be come back, man. Or at least make it easy to available. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. So, that is it for 2004. So then we're going back 30 years to 1994 to Sega Visions, and we got a whole lot of shit up here. But it looked like it's just the Shago channels. Look, it says, stop just watching TV, Daniel.
Oh, man. Can I interact with the TV now?
The Sega channel is here. Man, so yes, I used to be so jealous of a dude because he had it too for cable, and I was just like, man, he's always ask because every time I used to see the commercial for the Sega channel, I used to ask my mom, I was like, come on, get Sega channel so I can just play all these games. I said, no, it's too expensive. I wonder how much it cost.
It was $5 a year, but back then, nowadays, that is equal to $10,000 a year.
Yeah. All right, so let's say that the Sega channels here. You got 32-bit gameplay with the 32X. My sister had it.
Oh,
comes
man.
To the Genesis and
no,
Sega
Dominic,
CD.
she was right. It was $15 a month plus a $25 activation fee.
Oh.
But like $15 a month back then? Whew.
I was about to say, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Inflation calculator. Let's see.
But jobs were good then. They were
$15 in 1995. That's $31.29 a month now, Dominic. That's too much. You can get Netflix and Disney Plus for that.
Yeah, but how many games a year is that?
2, because they didn't actually know how to make it work.
Maybe for a Super Nintendo.
Oh, I just meant like they only put 2 games up a year.
Oh,
but
you
yeah,
mean right. Chat. Oh. All right, so you got the like I said, 32-bit X. I said 32-bit X, so 32X comes to your Genesis and Sega CD. They got Earthworm Jim, World's Next Great Hero. Yeah, they were really
yes. There were so many ads for Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, and then plus tons of summer hits. You got Shining Force, the Sword of Hiya, whatever. Do you pronounce the J, or is this like Hiya? Okay.
I don't know.
Jungle Book.
Oh.
Yeah, the Jungle Book game. Yeah, I remember the commercial for that. World Heroes. I don't know what the hell that is. Super Street Fighter 2, Astro / Game Gear, and more. What is Astrich? Astrich. What is that?
I don't know.
It says / Game Gear. Is that? Did they call it Game Gear or something else?
Astrix.
Somewhere.
Astrix. Game Gear. Maybe they just meant asterisks on the Game Gear. It's that at least when I type it in, it's that like Nordic guy from comic books in Europe.
Okay.
You've seen him before. Like if you saw him, you'd know what I was talking about. I forget what else we called that guy. I feel like he's got a different name too. But, yeah.
The Gaul?
Maybe it's like France. It's Asterix and Obelix. That's what I was trying to think of. Obelix.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, him. Yeah, I see him.
Those guys.
Yeah,
I guess they're like, there's one of these games on Game Gear now.
That's Papa Thor.
yes. Papa Thor.
All right, yeah, where the hell is my cover at? Okay, here we go. Oh, Taz is back on the Genesis and Game Gear. I'm wondering if that's a Taz game that I got a long time ago.
If it's the one that I rented from Blockbuster, I had no idea how to play that game.
But I'm thinking the Super Nintendo one was different than the Sega one.
Yeah.
For some reason I have a feeling that there were this is the time when you had those games like that. They'll come at the same time and there'll be different games.
Yeah,
they may have the same
by
title and
completely
stuff.
different teams, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look, somebody's got a YouTube video, Genesis versus NES. Super NES.
I already know who won.
Probably, because I did not like that game whatsoever on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I got to a part where it was hard, but I forgot what level it was. Was it the 4th level or something? But yeah, but I still just played the shit out of it until that level. Then did I die? I used to like that cartoon. Tasmania. Oh, look at that ugly guy in the corner on the Hulk. Oh God.
Yeah.
Win big prizes in the exclusive Incredible Hulk contest. That's for the rich people, damn.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're going to say about Game Pass in 20 years. All
right, so that's it for the flashback segment. So we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. So this has actually been, I've seen this stuff for at least a week now, and I forgot to mention it last week. But there has been a leak of Valve's new game. It's actually happening. They're making a new game.
Valve has a leak. Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta shut that Valve down, man. What's going on?
So they are making a third-person shooter MOBA. So basically like a Dota or a League of Legends type thing. but in a third-person shooter, so basically like Fortnite meets one of these MOBAs.
Or just like the Gearbox game that came out years ago.
Yes. God, there were several of those actually, because Epic made that one too, and yeah.
What was that game called that I thought that should have been better than Overwatch?
I'm trying to think. It's the hobby grade game.
Oh man, what was it called?
Oh, I really thought typing in hobby grade video game was going to give me the result I wanted.
I don't know what the hell that is. What's hobby grade?
It's something that Bobby Kotick said about the game, and everybody made fun of. Usually it's referencing like board games and stuff like that, but Overwatch.
Battleborn.
That's what it was. Battleborn, yes.
Battleborn.
Yes. Yeah, but even then, I felt like that was different enough, or at least what we played was different enough. Because, like, honestly, looking at this stuff for this new game, I don't know if I mentioned the name of Deadlock. It doesn't look particularly interesting to me. I mean, mostly because it's like super heavily focused on mobile. Like,
also,
it just looks
Battleborn
like
had a single player, co-op mode, whatever, like story thing going on.
That's the stuff that we played. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks fine. I mean, it's cool that Valve is actually making games still, because it feels like they haven't for a very long time. But yeah, it's, you know, I mean, they did do that card game that didn't work out, Artifact.
And they did the VR game.
Yeah, they did. They did Half-Life Alyx, which, God, I would like to play that at some point. It's kind of weird that that game exists and has such little relevance to most people's lives because of it being a VR exclusive game. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they've released that game as a non-VR game. I mean, obviously there are like mods where you can sort of play it in that way. Like, I wonder if it has the same significance. Is it still a good game without the gimmick of it being a VR title where you can, you know, grab things and pick them up and interact with the world in the same way? By most accounts, it seems like it is, but at the same time, you know, I guess it's a prequel too, right? Or is it? Does it come after?
I don't remember.
I feel like
was it in between? Was it like in between
maybe
some events?
Maybe that's what it was, because I think it's before, you know, what happens to her father in episode 2. But yeah, I want to live in a different timeline, Dominic, where that game is more culturally significant than it is. But yeah, so this Deadlock game, do you have any interest in it? If it's free to play, would you give it a try? Or is like the MOBA aspect of it just like something you're not interested in?
I'm not into MOBA. Yeah. So I don't think,
That's
probably not going to be
that
for
on
me.
Something and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, Dominic. Next up, Toys for Bob, who recently split from Microsoft after the acquisition of them through the acquisition of Activision, have now partnered back up with Microsoft through a publishing deal. So they are working on something new. They said they're very early into development, so you may not hear from them for a while. If you go to their website right now, there's just a tiki mask. So like some people have speculated that it's going to be a new Crash Bandicoot. We just saw a new Crash Bandicoot. I feel like there are other things that they could mine there. I've seen a lot of speculation lean towards a new Spyro game because, you know, that's their other big property. I've also heard a lot of people saying that they would like to see them make a
prototype game.
You want to see a prototype game? Okay. A lot of people have said, you know, Banjo-Kazooie. I think they would be a fantastic developer for a new Banjo-Kazooie game if Microsoft could make that happen. I feel like that would be weird just because they allowed them to split off. Like, if you were going to let them make a Banjo-Kazooie game anyway, why wouldn't you try and keep them under your umbrella?
Yeah.
But I don't know. The level of business decisions that they're making at that company at that high level, like maybe I just can't comprehend them. I don't know. If it stopped them from being closed, I am happy with the way these things went. You know, if it gives Toys for Bob the independence that they felt like they needed, I am glad. I just want those developers to keep making games because they've proven that they can make some.
Keep making some Toys for Bob, man. Keep Bob happy.
Yep. All right, Dominic. Sony has basically said that they're going to continue to hold back their PC ports of their single player games, but they will have their live service games launch day one. That basically makes sense. You're looking for, you know, as large an audience as possible for live service games so that you can get your hooks into people and then, you know, milk the cow from there basically. So that makes sense. I'd like to see us get to a point where we're seeing those single player games sooner. But I just don't know how realistic that is with whatever position Sony sees themselves in the consoles. I think they like the idea of basically double dipping, and that's kind of a thing we've heard from Rockstar as well, you know, because we haven't heard about a Grand Theft Auto 6 port for PC yet, and it seems like that may not come at the same time as the console versions of that game, and it's mostly because they just want people to buy it twice. Like, there's no other reason you don't put the resources into making that game available.
No other reason
on PC the first day it's out, and that kind of sucks because it makes the PC look like kind of like a market to be used, basically, you know, instead of just an equal standing with the consoles. So that's disappointing. In other Sony news, they did announce and have a Sony State of Play on the, what was it, the 30th they had it? Almost the last day of the month. Basically, they squeaked it in right at the end to keep all those leakers from being wrong, which it was kind of amusing watching that whole thing go down because Jeff Grubb, one of the guys that said that there was going to be a Sony State of Play or showcase, he wasn't sure, but some kind of Sony presentation in the month of May. And like, as we got closer to the end of the month, people on the gaming leaks and rumors subreddit were just like turning on him. They were like, if they don't have a State of Play, we're going to knock him down in tier listing. Cause they actually have on each post on that subreddit, like whether the person that is providing that information is like an S tier, an A tier, you know, top tier leaker or not. Like, there's one person that's been leaking a lot of Sega stuff, and more recently some more Nintendo stuff. Midori on Twitter, they're like top tier. Anything they say can be believed without any doubt. And they're actually talking about a new Zelda game right now, which could be interesting.
Okay.
There was a lot of speculation because the speculation that it would be from the same team that did the Link's Awakening HD. So some people were speculating that it could be like an Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons remaster or remake, I guess. But they said that that seems like that's not going to be the case. So now people are saying, oh, maybe Minish Cap. Honestly, I think any of those style games I would love to see get a fresh coat of paint. I would like to see it run better than Link's Awakening, though, because again, it's so disappointing that to see one of my favorite games be remastered like that and then just not have the hardware to support it. I really hope the Switch 2 has some kind of capabilities of running games from the Switch at a higher frame rate just to make that game a little more playable. Anyway, so yeah, all that aside, we did in fact get a State of Play. I think they announced that there were going to be 14 games, and that's probably what I have listed here. It kicked off with Concord, which is a new game from their studio Firewalk. This looks, it was basically like a CG trailer getting you used to these characters. There was like a robot, and then there was this big guy, and then there was this like lizard dude, and then just the woman who eventually you find out has some kind of like fiery powers. But it seems like this is going to kind of be an Overwatch style, player versus player, 5-on-5 kind of thing. Which seemed fine, except for the fact that like later on in the show, you also get shown the Marvel Rivals game, which is also just one of those. So there's kind of like this weird disconnect. And maybe I was going to say it's not weird when we see like multiple platformers or multiple action games, but I guess it's because it's a live service game, right? So like there's a finite number of video game players. And if some of them are going to be playing Marvel Rivals, then it's far less likely that they're also going to be playing Concord or Overwatch or what have you. So I guess that's why that feels more awkward to me. What did you think of this game, Dominic?
Yeah, it's not a game for me because I don't even play Overwatch, and now that
it's been a while.
I have it.
Yeah.
It's free to play. It's free to play now. So,
but it's been a while since we actively played that game.
Yeah. So I don't really play it, and so it really has no interest for me. Like I said, I'm happy. Like, Sony's doing another first-person shooter, but it's too similar to games that are out there. That what can this game do to differentiate itself?
Yeah.
From those, like now, I'm seeing now. Are they going to have some type of story mode with this? Because this is like I told you, I don't know if this is free to play or not. And if it's not, it's got to be a story to this mode.
Yeah.
There's got to be a story mode to this. Now, if it's story mode and it's all right, then cool. Because hell, we didn't get one for Overwatch, at least not soon. The one they had, they pretty much scrapped. So. Maybe they'll have something with this one. Maybe there'll actually be a legitimate story with this game that you can do it, or like some type of co-op mode, like a cooperative mode where you're not just player. It's not just only like player environments. Like it's actually something more there to it. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm curious. Like, what can they do to get into this space?
Yeah.
And survive it.
Absolutely.
With these other games that are free to play.
Mm-hmm. And have a easier chance of hooking an audience and growing it from there. Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be a scary time to be like a multiplayer developer right now to try and make that decision whether you're making a free-to-play game or whether you're making a paid game. And like you said, you got to have some kind of thing that pulls people into paying for that game. And I think in most cases it would be some kind of single player or story-based, mode that would do that. Otherwise, why would I choose your game over any number of other games that I can try out for free, get a good feeling for, and then if I like it, go on from there and potentially purchase some things because I like running around as John Wick or whatever, All right, next up we saw the God of War Ragnarok PC port. That's coming out September 19th. It's going to include the Valhalla DLC and ultra-wide support like they've been doing with all their games. People are upset because it is going to have the PlayStation Network stuff built into that, which I understand, especially it being a single-player game. At the same time, I don't hate the idea of being able to get trophies while playing the game on PC, if that's a thing. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it will be good. Hopefully it runs well and, get more people playing that game. So that's works for me. Next up, Dominic, this one was your game of the show, I believe, from talking to you. Dynasty Warriors Origins. That's coming out in 2025. We're going to finally find out where Lobu comes from. All right. So next up, Dominic, was Dynasty Warriors Origins. That's coming out in 2025. I think this is your game of the show, right?
Yeah. You said Lobu. Lobu. Yeah. The guy who's like the ultimate fighter.
We're going to finally find out where he's come from
Yeah. I heard you. Because I was looking at something. All right. So, yeah, graphically, like, see, I don't know. Was that gameplay they showed or potential? See, I don't know. Was it in engine? I don't know what it was. What I
There
was
was
looking at
definitely some
because
stuff that looked like it was supposed to be interpreted as, gameplay at least.
exactly. I mean, if it just looks, yeah, I mean, it looks even somewhat that good. I mean, I'll be happy. Like, oh, I see. I forgot to mention the games I played. I have been playing Samurai Warriors 5. They just had an update, like a DX. I don't know what the hell they added, but but anyway, that's just the Japanese Dynasty Warriors. Like that's just the samurais. There's what Japanese historic characters, not Chinese historic characters. But yeah, that I'm curious. Like, what's this Dynasty Origins mean? Like, what is this? Like, this is taking place before these people are born, like before they existed, or like is this like a time? Like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. But I do want to see some nice battles and like some epic battles with hundreds and hundreds of soldiers and with this technology to see how that looks and see how like what they do because that's my type of gameplay, man. I love it. I love button smashing and killing hundreds of thousands of enemies.
Loving a Muso.
So yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, so I dozed off a bit. So did you talk about God of War?
Yeah. Just that it's coming to PC, yeah.
Yeah, the PC. Okay, so that's cool. All right. Yeah, it's nothing really say. Yeah, it's nothing bad to say on that.
There's nothing bad. There's nothing good. It's coming to PC. That's cool. More people can play it now. All right. Next up was Infinity Nikki. This is going into testing in Q3 of 2024. It looks like you just dress up a pretty anime lady and take pictures in different environments.
Yes, and there's a big market for that.
Seems like it. Yep.
Yeah, these people love that, and now if you get just to add some genitalia to her, some like you can switch it around a bit, to do other things, then you got yourself the game of the year.
I don't know, Dominic. I think some of them like the tease of it. Like you got to make the costumes as small as possible, but there's a line, right? That's how you keep them coming back. All right. Next up, Dominic, was The Ballad of Antara. That's coming out in 2025. This is an action RPG. It's got like fantasy stuff. It looks fine. It didn't really like stand out to me as anything.
I'm trying to remember what it was. What did it look like?
It was kind of weird because the transition from Infinity Nikki to this, I felt like almost like, is this the same game? Because it starts out with like a pretty lady with like dark makeup or something like that. And then it starts to get like increasingly more like crazy looking. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Next up, we got into the VR section here. Sky Dance's Behemoth. So this is coming from the developer of The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which is a pretty well-reviewed, series of games for VR. And this is like RPG, and you're facing off against these giants, these very large creatures. That looks all right. And like I said, it's pretty positive about Saints and Sinners. So if you got VR, it might be worth checking out. You also have Alien Rogue Incursion, and this is coming from the developers of Creed Rise of Glory, which was a VR boxing game, which I, have heard pretty positive vibes about that. So it's cool to see that these developers who have made good VR games, potentially getting to create more expanded experiences and keeping VR alive for right now, because it really feels like we've hit kind of peak VR and are now like going back down the hill of people's interest in it. I feel like MetaQuest 2 was maybe peak peak, and now like 3 came out and it wasn't that big an improvement, and all the stuff with Meta in their VR world, they've given up on that. So it very much feels like, oh, we're kind of moving away from this stuff, I guess. All right. After that, Dominic, is when we saw Marvel Rivals. Like I said, we saw that. That's coming out on PS5 in closed beta soon, allegedly, and people who play the closed beta on PlayStation will get an exclusive Spider-Man skin. I would imagine probably something that looks like the video game.
We're doing this again.
Yeah,
we're doing this again, just like we did with Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, as long as it's a skin, I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah. Again,
I initially read the word exclusive, and I was like, "Oh God, what are they going to say?" And then it just ended up being a skin. So I was like,
"Yeah."
Oh,
I mean, it's not a big deal. And then when I saw the skin, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't give a damn anyway. I don't give a damn anyway.
After that was Where Winds Meet. This is a Dark Souls-like game. It had a lot of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon influences in the trailer. There's a lot of like fighting up into the trees and then like stepping on the tips of swords and stuff like that. So that should be all right. Then we found out, I think we had already seen that they were doing this, but we got like a time window of release. Until Dawn remake, that's coming out fall of this year. So that game is cool. I don't know that
the game is cool, but
needed a remake though.
No, because it's not that type of game.
No.
Like, it's not like coming from a place where, like, oh man, we just gonna make it like it was such a graphical. Not a mess, but it's like, man, the graphics were so not good then.
Yeah.
Now we making it look so much better. It's like you could just did like a update or something.
You could have did an up-res patch, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, cause what are you adding to this? Is anything added to this?
I don't know. That's the thing, because like it's not like gameplay's gonna change. There aren't probably gonna be too many like quality of life things.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, they adding some new story, like maybe like extra story or layers or something. Like something happens to it or something.
They're adding first-person shooting, Dominic. It's going to change the whole game. It seems like a weird one to pick for remake.
Yeah, like I feel like it could. Yeah, they could just did a updated stuff. I mean, or just make 2.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Can't afford some of those characters anymore, so can't make it 2, Dominic.
And get those new actors, man, and get all British actors. They're cheaper.
All right, next up was Path of Exile 2. That's coming out in early access on PS5 in 2024.
Was the first one on PS5?
I don't know about PS5.
That was just PC only.
Maybe, let's see, Path of
It was just PC
Exile.
only. Was that what it was?
It was... Yes, I know it's on Steam. You don't have to tell me that. Thank you. It looks like it came out on Xbox and PS4 eventually. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So those games did make it everywhere. But yeah, that's cool. If you're into Diablo but don't like Diablo, you can check that out. Next up was the Silent Hill 2 remake that got a release date of October 8th. That looks fine, I guess. I'm not.
Yeah, I guess it looks fine. Yeah.
Not
looks like
something
I won't play because I'm be scared.
Yeah.
Yes.
After that was Monster Hunter Wilds. That's coming out in 2025. It looks like kind of deserty environments this time. Like a lot of dry stuff. Whereas like usually it's like lush jungles and things of that nature. So any interested in jumping back into the Monster Hunter world, Dominic?
Somewhat. Because if the way this looks like it's a more of a story with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that will get me into it. If there's some type of story that I can attach myself to and that I want to progress in. Just like somebody was saying, like how they didn't like Bloodborne. They said, dude, it's like, because it didn't have no story. He said if they had a story that it would make me want to go through the game, like the hard, like all that frustration, I would have did it. And yeah, I agree. If there was some type of story that was there where I felt like it could grab me. I would go through the game and try to win, but you don't give me that, and I don't just get like I don't just get the
Just
satisfaction
doesn't
of
come
just
natural.
beating the hard
Yeah.
boss. Yeah,
Yeah, I hear
it's
that.
just like why? Why? I mean, I didn't get it. I mean, because it's fun. I mean, you play games to be fun. Thing is, I'm not having fun,
Yeah.
and
We
at
have
least if
different
I'm
ways
being
of having
frustrated,
fun.
I'm being like, oh, I'm trying to get. I want to know what happens next. So it kind of makes it fun for me because it's like, oh, I'm really trying to get past this stuff, and it's like hard for I can go do what I need to do, like whether I would progress through the story. But there's no to me, it's like feels like there's no need. There's no story here.
Yeah,
So
there's a motivation factor there, at least.
yeah,
Yeah. Hopefully they'll take some of the like the Rise and the portable games where they did more of that stuff and to make that an improved game like that. All right, and then the last one that they showed off, Dominic, this closed out the show, Astro Bot. It's coming out September 6th. It's basically it looks like a full expanded version of the pack-in game that came with the PS5. And that's still probably my favorite experience I've had on the PlayStation 5 so far is that Astro Bot game. So I would love to see what they do with an expanded version of that if they make a full game out of that. Everything I saw in the trailer looked really good. You know, they have different power-ups for you, basically. They had like a dog jetpack kind of thing and some little frog hand grappling hooks. I'm very interested in this game. I hope it turns out to be as good as that Astro Bot game was for the launch. So yeah. I think overall this show was fine when you like think about it in the context of like, man, this would have been E3 time basically. It's disappointing, but I can't help but think if they do have some bigger things that they could potentially show up at like a Jeff Keighley thing, just because I'm sure he caters to a larger, well, I don't know, that's weird. Does Jeff Keighley's Game Fest cater to a larger audience than just like PlayStation dropping their own video? Or
yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So I don't know. I also don't know, like, does Jeff Keighley, I'm sure he does pay some of these companies to get like an exclusive, and I'm sure there are other companies that have to pay him, you know, like put my thing on the show, please. Especially like smaller indie developers or something like that. So yeah, I wonder if there's anything bigger for PlayStation for the end of the year. You know, there's all these rumors talking about how there's going to be the PlayStation 5 Pro this year. And I don't know that that game sells off the back of an Astro Bot, you know, as cool as that game may be. And I was listening to, I think it might have been Jeff Gersman's podcast, but he was basically talking about like what they could have and how when the PS4 Pro launched, like they might not have had anything either. And I'm trying to think back, and I don't recall them having a huge game at the end of that year, like that launched alongside. Like obviously they had things that they were like, oh, you can upgrade the visuals on this with a patch and that with a patch. But I feel like, was that the same year as like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or something like that? And one of the big things was that, or that came much later, didn't it? I'm confusing that with the PS5, like, because you could buy that either on either console. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it was not Origins, but the other one. Yeah, I don't recall anything like huge launching alongside the PS4 Pro. And I guess they're just hoping like the people that are going to buy the Pro version of the console are the people that have already bought into the console anyway, because that's, you know, they're looking for the dedicated fan base. They're not looking for the mainstream necessarily with those upgrades. So they're like, they're going to buy it anyway because it's got the PlayStation branding on it and they're PlayStation fanboys. But I don't know. It's so weird that, we could be looking at this potentially extremely expensive thing. The PS5 and the Xbox are already pretty expensive right now. Even though I think right now, like currently, they've actually seen some sales that have put them in a pretty decent place if you're looking to get, especially like a PlayStation 5. So, I just don't know. I really don't necessarily like the idea of these pro upgrades, especially considering the conversations that we've had over the past couple of weeks of how this generation has basically felt like it was dead in the water from day one, and they haven't proven otherwise since. And then for them to just, what feels like they're kind of milking their fans by putting out these kind of pro style consoles that aren't really offering anything substantial. I mean, that's for me where the difference is between why at a certain point I was asking for a Switch Pro, because I thought it would provide a better experience for some of the games that we were getting. Whereas like a PlayStation 5 Pro, I feel like it's more about them not having the games than about those games not being able to take advantage of the hardware,
Yeah, exactly.
Like Nintendo's got the games, they just don't have the hardware to support the games that they've got.
And like PlayStation, they got the hardware. They don't have a ton of games.
No.
And they when they do have a game, they don't even take too much advantage of the hardware.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. So
yeah, it's only me. Well, it's only Spider-Man. That's the only one I can name.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's other games, God of War, and them. I think took advantage, but they didn't take full advantage because they weren't built from the ground up.
Right.
With that. But yeah, the state of play. It was just it was okay. It was okay. But also I was seeing some other articles, mostly on the Game Informer site, where they were showing how PlayStation numbers, the numbers are looking better than PS4s as far as I think players on the system.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the same time, I think at the same time now, PS4 it's more, but thing is, it also has been out longer, and PS5 is just they just really, I mean, they still got some time left, and
right.
I'm thinking about that, like, at the, like, now, player base now, the PS4 is at, I think, like 1.7 million or something, and let me see, can I find it? Where is he?
Yeah, I've got it here. So,
107 billion,
yeah.
107 billion earned, which is obviously more than 106 billion, but the reason Sony's called PS5 generation most profitable is because is because the PS4 generation is largely complete, whereas the PS5 presumably still has years to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, that's good. I mean, 107 billion, yeah, that's good to same player count. But like dollars, how much money they were making, and I don't know if that's a good thing, because that shows me like, man, this is supposed to be like, this is like a disappointing generation.
Yeah,
and they're making this money, and I'm like, that's not good. Like, if you're still making money without producing anything,
mm-hmm.
really, I don't like that. But then also, you probably have to account for, I mean, it's probably, yes, some inflation numbers there, because
sure,
of the time you were earning the money, what PS4 was earning money and whatever, and also like and how much games cost more too. Some games are $70. Like, how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
With the things of that nature. But yes, PS5, but still, how much money it's making is just like, oh man, if they're making this much money without really producing anything, I don't know that's good for the consumer, because like, you think are they gonna get better? Like, they're gonna be like, oh, we're doing well without, but we're still gonna we go and work hard and still work like to do our best to get us like
Yeah,
many
Dominic,
good
these
quality games
companies
out
are going to
there.
pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They're going to deliver the best product because they know
Yeah.
that that's the only way for us to buy them. Absolutely, even though that this information clearly proves otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I like this news. Like someone said, somebody said in the comments that I guess we don't need to make the game $70 now, do we?
Yeah.
He's like, you do it so well, or use AI, which they just announced they're going to do.
Yeah.
See the AI thing is because now AI's got a. It's like almost one of those things you say if you say AI, it's just
Oh, yeah. It's got a negative
bad.
connotation now.
Yeah, and
100%.
it's like I said, some things AI is good to be used for. Sometimes AI has already been used, but now you just gotta call something else where you won't make people angry. Call it something, some other kind of technology. But
I feel like
yeah,
the biggest problem is we have all these like technological advances like AI and whatnot, and what we've seen in the past and what we're seeing now is that instead of using them to benefit people and improve people's quality of life, like obviously there are ways we could use AI. We've talked about them to make video games better, while having fewer people have to work on them or spending less time on them.
yeah.
But that's only beneficial to the company and not to the people. It's not like, okay, we've got this technology now, that means we're going to switch to a 6 or 4 hour workday because AI is going to pick up for the rest. Yeah, it's just going to replace these people. And then we're going to have people living on the streets even more than we already do. I mean, that's what we've seen with all of this technology in the past. And that's why I think instantly, once you start hearing these kind of corporate buzzwords, you start to get a little shaken and you start to worry about what that means for your job, because these companies have proven time and time again that that's all they care about is the profits, even though like, where are you going to get profits from when there's no one that can afford your product anymore? And that's very quickly where we're going in this world, unfortunately.
Yeah, but see, it's not about thinking about like that far down the line. It's about getting all the money you can now, and you worry about that later.
Yeah.
Just,
Because then I've got the money, and somewhere down the line I can fuck off to the moon or whatever colony in space I can live on. Yeah, it's a bad time. Like I don't hate the idea of utilizing AI to make video game development easier, but I hate that they will be exploited to make shittier products cheaper and exploit both the employees and the people buying the inferior product, because that's what it feels like right now.
yeah, so PlayStation, like it's like based on their state of play, like me just looking as a consumer of gaming, like just all gaming, it's still like it's disappointing for me for both these systems. It's like, what am I like?
They're very much in cruise control right now. They're like, we're at the top. Like, there's no way Xbox can touch us. We don't have to worry about this. So this is actually something I want to talk about in regard to this, because I think it's an interesting concept that a lot of people have started to talk about in regards to Nintendo as a company. We've heard constantly about these games that they have in development or had in development and are done and sitting on the shelves. And I saw somebody speculate the other day that I think it was on Reddit I saw, because they were talking about, the potential for what could be shown at this upcoming Nintendo event. And there's like this Fire Emblem remaster or remake that has been basically done for years now. Apparently it has just been sitting on the shelf. And this one commenter on Reddit basically said, like, it seems like this is a financial decision for Nintendo where they make these games when they do, And then they sit on them so that if there's a time that something comes up and they don't have time, they don't have the ability to finish a game and they need to delay a game, they can basically use it as a space filler. And that is like the most forethought I've seen from a company, if that is in fact the case as to why they do it. I can't think of many other good reasons why you would. Like, that is the most forethought I've seen from a company, and that's like almost commendable that, that seems to be why they're able to produce things with such high levels of quality, because they're not necessarily worried about meeting this calendar date that they've arbitrarily set for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be in a position where you just made a whole lot of money to do that. Because you can, like, usually... thing is, the way we think is that, I mean, the way I'm always seeing it in the total is that you can't just make something and just let it sit, because you put so much money into it.
Right.
You need to get your money back. That means you would have to have made so much money where you can afford to do that.
Yeah. But at the same time, you look at a Nintendo versus a Sony or a Microsoft. And like, I'm not sure, honestly, about Nintendo versus Sony or the PlayStation portion of Sony, because we've heard for years that Sony's kind of struggling outside of maybe their PlayStation brand. But Microsoft, I'm going to lump them all together, because the reality is, like, at the end of the day, if they wanted to do something like this, that company as a whole has the ability to make that decision from on high and say, hey, Phil, we've got this and this in the can, but we've also got these games that are available. The problem is, like, it feels like, if you're using the analogy, basically Microsoft and PlayStation are living paycheck to paycheck, right? Whereas Nintendo's got a savings account that they've, been able to build up over the years and are now, benefiting from that.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't want to risk that. Not just, well, it's not, I want to say it's a risk, because I think they can afford it, but at least I think Microsoft can afford it. That they want to separate it. They don't want to have it like, oh yeah, because we got so much money because we're Microsoft, that we could probably do that too. They'd still want to live like Xbox is separate, so they just look at how much money they made from Xbox, and that you guys made that much money to do that.
And that's what it feels like is happening right now with, them seemingly putting pressure on Phil and the Xbox division to be a little more profitable. And maybe that's where the, going multi-platform and putting some of these games that haven't succeeded as well on the Xbox on some of these other platforms. I mean, I guess there's also the aspect of, like, Nintendo was very smart in making the Switch, because not only did they make this, like, thing that is a crossover between the home and the console, so now the business that they had split between their Game Boy and the DS and whatnot, and the games that they were producing for that, and the games that they were producing for home, now they have all of those developers producing for one system. But further to that, they also, because they made it a handheld, they had an excuse for why it was going to be less powerful and therefore less demanding when you're talking about assets that you're producing. You're having to produce assets that are only 1080p assets, whereas you have these companies now that feel like they have to make 8K assets. So there's probably
60 frames per second as everybody's demands.
60 versus 165 or 244 or God only knows what now. But I think there's an aspect of that too. So Nintendo is benefiting from a cheaper production cost, which it'll be interesting to see moving on to the Switch 2 how that's affected by a potential increase in knowing that you need to be able to now output to a 4K display. And I think part of that is going to be helped by this NVIDIA like DLSS technology and stuff like that. But if that ends up being the case and we end up seeing games on the Switch 2 that were, I don't know if I should say impressed by, like, or if it's going to be one of those cases where it's like, oh, wow, they got The Witcher 3 running on the Switch. That's impressive. Golf claps, basically. Like, it's a good looking game, but there's much preferred ways to play that if you have the means to do so. Because if we do see games that are, I've seen a lot of talk of like Elden Ring is really a game that should be launching alongside the Switch 2, because like obviously it's one of the biggest games of this generation, and the Switch 2 by all accounts should be a very popular system because the Switch was a very popular system. We know from the Wii to the Wii U that may not be the case, but I think there's better potential. I think Nintendo has probably learned its lessons from the Wii U, and there's better potential for the Switch 2 than there is the Wii U. But if we're seeing a game like Elden Ring run on this Switch 2, then doesn't that speak to the advancements in this technology and that we should be utilizing that to bring down production costs so that we aren't, overshooting 200 million or whatever it's 600 million, whatever it was for Spider-Man 2, when you're like, how do you spend that much money when you have like 90% of the map already designed for the original Spider-Man game? Now, I don't know, did they have to go ground up and rebuild that map entirely? I can't imagine a world where they did. But why then did that game cost so much if you already had kind of this basis that you could build upon?
And you know what? Like Rockstar has its problems. I mean, like with the Grand Theft Auto, like we heard about some of the stuff they did behind the scenes and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's probably a good thing that it didn't try to do another game, and it is with a lot, because on a game, they had that game for 10 years plus, and they just used and they have used that game, base game, for just adding DLC to it. They didn't have to rebuild anything. They did enhance it for the next generations, stuff like that, but it wasn't a whole like, oh, we're making a new game from the ground up, we gotta do a new engine or something or whatever. I give them something like that, like, even though I do wish it was more single player, honestly, but still, if they was going to do single player, at least they didn't have to. It would still have. They would have all the access or something like that.
It theoretically wouldn't have been that much of a cost sink to have done that outside of new voice actors and obviously the work that goes along with it. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely commendable, like that they were able to do that. But doesn't that speak to like people don't need the latest greatest? They just want something that's compelling.
I mean, if Grand Theft Auto can last 10 plus years starting from a game that was on a 360 to now,
that's so gross. I hate that context.
Then that definitely should tell you that you need to make something that's fun, like a game. Yeah, it still has to be good, because obviously if it's not good, nobody's going to play it. You gotta make something that's fun that people are willing, like, they can play. You don't need to be, as much as like the graphics are good, but look at some of the games that don't sell that have really great graphics too. Yeah. So it's really the concept of the game that really sells it, and you know what? Maybe it's something like this where maybe you put a lot of money into building some world or something like that, but you know that we're going to use this. We're using the same engine in this world for other games or something to spin off from, so that we can save money that way, where you don't have to keep building, like a new user. You can't say, nah, these are the assets you're using. Yeah. Just build another game. I mean, do what modders do, but y'all have the time to do it.
I mean,
like the
I think it
time
was
and
last week that we talked about that.
the creative. Yeah.
Get some of your small development teams that maybe need a little more experience on bringing something to your next style console, and get them to work on the add-on, the expansion, the expand-alone, what have you.
Yeah.
So that you're using those assets again. I mean, you don't necessarily want to put yourself in the position where you're like demanding everyone uses Frostbite like EA did, when it's not, it's not an engine designed for, a racing game or something like that. But there was some logic to that, where they're like, hey, we developed this thing in-house. Why would we use Unreal when we've already got this technology for ourselves? But then it seemed like, it was maybe a specially designed thing. Then you don't have enough people that can communicate how it was designed and the way it works in the flow of development for a game. So yeah, it's
how about like Far Cry Primal? You remember people were making fun of that Far Cry Primal because it was the same map basically as the other game. But then it's like, okay, if the game is still fun, I mean, I ain't saying it's a good game because I never played it. If the game is still a fun game, does it matter if it's the same map? They change it a bit?
Yeah, because look at Zelda, as it turns out, same map. Even though let's be realistic, they added a significant amount to that.
Yeah,
but still, I just typed in, was Far Cry Primal profitable, and Google gave me the response of, and now we all know how accurate this can be, but we estimate that Far Cry Primal made $37 million in gross revenue since its release. Out of this, the developer has an estimated net revenue of $11 million, blah, blah, blah. So there you go.
Yeah, so it could. Yeah, you can do stuff, man. I mean, you can. There's a way around it, like to even still have things look graphically decent, but also cover the cost, like keep costs down by reusing it.
Yeah,
I mean, but like making full games, not some like bullcrap. Sometimes, like, because you can do expansions, but sometimes you can do a full game.
Yeah.
And so what? Using the same assets? Like, I know it used to be some people probably making it a bad deal. Say, oh man, this is not really a totally new game. Because you say, so what? Is it the game still worked on? Is it still fun? Does it still does what it's supposed to do?
I mean, I think it really speaks to like how we used to see 3 Ratchet and Clank, 3 Jack and Daxter games on the same console. Like, a lot of those assets had to be reused, right? Like, obviously there was maybe a lower production cost back then, but it was also probably a smaller studio back then.
Oh yeah, definitely a small studio. I remember people saying we got to double our studio to now we got 50 people. 50 people was a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
That was a lot of people.
Now you got Ubisoft that has thousands of people across the world. Yeah.
Like these places used to just have like 15. I mean, 15 was a good amount or something, or 10. I mean, how many people? I want to know how many people worked on like Mario.
The latest one or the first one?
No, I'm talking about Mario Nintendo. Like how big was that studio who did this? Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog.
Allegedly 5 people on the original Mario game.
5 people, and 4 of them dead. The only one left is
Miyamoto,
the guy we all see. Yeah, that's not. But no, 5. Come on, man, dude. Like that's. I mean. Yes, we don't. I mean, now I know. Yeah, obviously we're gonna need a lot more people because, especially like games that have voice acting and all that things. I mean, all the things we do, yeah. But then, maybe we want to keep reusing that. Yeah, it's like, listen, we want to use kids. We keep using this base game. I mean, because you can still do more. I mean, like it proves like let's look at the Witcher expansion. It's like you can do so much with it. I mean, look what people have done with the Skyrim mods and things of that nature, Fallout mods, and just think of how much work those people who just be like one person takes a while, and they put all this work in there. And just think if a big studio had just done what they did, and you're talking about like people will keep playing the game. They will buy it. Like I will buy it. Another, like say Skyrim, something as a full game, but just using all the same assets with this game, I'll buy it. Like, why not? If it's because I like the game. I mean, we did that with Vegas, New Vegas, basically. It's just so why not?
Yeah, it's really kind of wild. Yeah, why don't we have the New Vegas style? You know. Even
or like with
Sony,
I'm curious. Like the stuff they use for The Last of Us. What is any that is people at Santa Monica using anything from that?
I doubt it. Yeah, like I mean, you think about that, like
because it looks the same. I mean, I know they're probably not. They're probably not. But I'm just
take
saying,
some of the assets from
right?
that game and make the biker game. And that biker game could have been significantly cheaper, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why couldn't they use that? Or like, why couldn't Ghost of Tsushima be using somebody else's assets or something like that? I'm like, come on, let's be real. Your games are very, like the look of the game is similar. Yeah. And but you can always change the controls and everything. You can all do that. And like it make the like you change, but yeah, why couldn't you? Why had to be a whole new engine?
I don't know. We will see one of these days, Dominic. There's got to be some kind of like reckoning in the games industry that these companies either suffer to the point where they have to change, or I think it's just more so it's going to be taken out on the employees and the customers. We're going to see increases in pricing again and stuff like that.
Gaming is only going to be for the elite, like every other entertainment out there.
Exactly. We'll leave you betting, Dominic. Everybody else can have betting. You can bet on me playing.
But we can hope you win enough to be the elite.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, anything else, Dominic? As I step down off my soapbox for the fifth time in a week or fifth time in a row. All right, new releases, Dominic. We got Multiverses. Is it officially back out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One,
yes.
Xbox Series X?
I was scared at this time last year, Daniel. I was scared. I was scared we'd never see it again.
Yeah, they did it. They had McDonald's toys and everything.
They got so the Joker's there now. And Mark Hamill is speaking for him, right?
Is he? I didn't see anything about that. I saw that Jason Voorhees is coming to it.
Yeah, I saw that too. Let me see, Mark Hamill. I mean, he's been speaking, that left wing jargon.
Oh yeah,
I saw. Stop. Yeah, because I think I saw some right wing people like, oh, I don't like Star Wars anymore or something like that.
It's not particularly surprising. I mean, I guess I have seen him, No,
I've seen, yeah. Oh, he was doing the Donald Trump thing, like, the Joker's reading Donald Trump's, speeches or whatever he was saying. Yeah, he was saying.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be him. That sounds.
Yeah, I think that is him. Yeah, I think that's him doing it for Joker. So they got him, Harley Quinn. I mean, it's a lot of characters. I think LeBron is back, right?
Yeah, LeBron's in there.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in that. And then they're gonna probably have Bronny Jr. in there, and then oh god, it's so. Yeah, man. I mean, it's cool. It's cool to have a game like that. I mean, yes, there was, even though there was Brawlhalla, I mean, that's still there. I mean, but just more access for people to play that, because so you don't have to pay $50 to play Smash because they don't go down in price. So and have a Switch, just be on Switch, something that you can play anywhere basically. Actually, I don't.
So
can you play on your phones?
Multiverses, I don't think so. I don't think it's
Okay.
a
So
phone
you can.
thing. Yeah.
Brawlhalla, can you play that on phone?
I don't think so.
So that's the only places you can't play it. So you can play it everywhere except for the phone, which I'm shocked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm shocked.
Nope. You're right. It is. It's available.
To say, I'm kind of shocked. But yeah, I was going to say I was shocked about how this was on the phone though.
Yeah, that is definitely fitting for
but
that.
Multiverse, I feel as multiverses become more profitable, they would definitely go on the phone.
If they can, they would be smart too. Because it definitely fits in the same category. And it's not like you're this prestige thing like Smash Brothers either. So like, yeah, you should get your money where you can.
Yeah.
It's so funny seeing the Joker listed as a mage class. Although I think that's just as funny because Velma is also a mage class apparently. So yeah.
Do they have both versions of Velma? Or would that be like a skin? You could be Velma from the new Velma show.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know where I would find skins. Oh no, they've got pictures of two variants. They have an astronaut Velma and a witch Velma.
Oh,
but no.
But yeah, it's so crazy that the characters they have, like we said, they had Arya from Game of Thrones, which is a very adult show, and then they got Jason Voorhees.
Yep.
They got Jason.
But again, like I gotta give them credit. They did the Disney Infinity thing, and they've got a very cohesive art style. That
they do.
Works well for
definitely.
all of these characters. Like even Jason,
he's the most lovable of Voorhees.
Yeah, it is. He's like a big cuddly teddy bear.
But what's his weapon? Is it like a machete or something?
Yeah, it's a machete. He's got a machete and an axe here. He's ready to go. But
they're like toys. They squeak when you hit somebody.
They just need to make amiibos of these things or whatever. Nice little action.
Is Freddy
figures.
Krueger part of Warner Brothers too?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what.
So when they did like a movie, it was like a partnership.
I'm looking it up now to see. Oh no, it's Warner Brothers thing, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him in there after too long.
Yeah.
Although apparently he's in Lethal Company right now.
Too bad.
That's
like
interesting.
Alien is Fox, Predator is Fox.
Yeah.
They can do Harry Potter.
They could. I am shocked to not see a Harry Potter character in this game.
They were scared, Daniel. They were scared of the trans thing.
No, I don't wonder. They released a game last year. No, they don't care.
I don't know how long that game was being made too. I don't know. I just want to know, like, because the game was probably in development, and it was like, yeah.
I'll say this, Dominic. If they were scared, they shouldn't be, considering that game is the best-selling game. Yeah,
they shouldn't be now. Yeah, they shouldn't be now. They shouldn't be scared now. No.
Now that you say that, that is shocking that there is not a Harry Potter character in this game yet.
Yeah, they could at least say face it had like Dumbledore.
Yeah.
There we go. Got the gay one.
Exactly. I'm a little surprised that they don't have any more Game of Thrones characters in here too. I guess there aren't a ton of like.
They could add one of those wolves, the one that's still alive.
The only one.
Was it Snow? No, Snow is actually their damn name. What's that wolf name?
I can't remember. Was it John's that was still alive, or did he get killed?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I think he still lived. The white one still lived.
Yeah. I'm
trying to think. Did all the rest of them die? Was there still one more that still lived?
I can't remember. Didn't Arya's that ran away, like,
maybe that
one's still alive,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think that was still alive. Maybe it's two is alive.
Ghost
then.
is
Ghost, yeah.
John's, I think, and Nymeria. Okay, yeah, both Ghost and Nymeria are still alive.
Yeah.
According to the Wiki of Westeros.
They have babies.
That show starts again soon, Dominic. I'm kind of excited.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. So. Yeah, see some dragon fighting.
Yeah. Some dragons. All right, Dominic. Said Multiverses Humanity is the other one that is now out on the Xbox, as you mentioned earlier. It's on Game Pass.
Wow, it was very quiet. This is like the old look, Daniel. Man, we came from a time when games was just coming out. It didn't matter no more. We were like the whole January and June summer stuff didn't mean nothing. We was just getting hot games, and it seems like we're back. We're going backwards. We're going back to a time when, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to release, but anything of note, like anything that's of note, is
it's because Nintendo's sitting on all the stuff that they could have released on.
Yeah,
that's why.
But that's good on Nintendo because people can't afford to keep paying for these games
that don't go on sale.
$50 or $60 games, or maybe $70. I don't know. You may just come out and make some up and say like, "Hey, this is worth $70." Good God, yeah. I was looking. I actually, what game did I see that was like on sale-ish? I was on it was the on Amazon. I trying to remember what game it was. I was like, oh look,
Fire Emblem's $2 cheaper.
It's only like $45. It's only like $45.
Yeah.
Nah, it was actually a real Nintendo game, not no Ubisoft one. Because I know, even the new Ubisoft Rabbids, I think it's like
it's like $5.
Okay. Oh damn, it's even that low. Oh, because I saw 20.
I don't know if it's that low, but they definitely get down there, and they got down there pretty quickly too. So.
Yeah, but I was like, wow, this is actually alright price. But yeah, man, it's just darn. I wish, that was just games that can go on sale. Damn it.
Would be nice, Dominic. Would be nice. All right. Wish
I wasn't poor. Maybe I needed to do that. I wish I wasn't poor.
That's what Nintendo would tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else for the people then, or else we'll finish this up?
Man. I'm falling asleep, man. I'm about to just go to sleep.
Right. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at RegularSMB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. Until next time, guys. Talk to you later.
All right, see you.